morning, everybody. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. We are on the air today. Amy Fadul joins me. Hello, Aim.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we got an issue.
Already?
We got an issue today, ladies and gentlemen. This is an issue that
Wednesday.
people. I know it's General Knowledge Wednesday too, but we have an issue that kind of dwarfs what we're going to do with General Knowledge Wednesday. And it's an issue like this is always like, the media's blowing it out of proportion. Well, we didn't do anything. We did nothing. We didn't cause this issue. We're merely reacting to the issue. And, of course, the issue is Nick Castellanos and what happened in the previous series that would force the Phillies to bench him on yesterday in the second game of the series. He was benched for defensive reasons in the 8th inning of the first game for Rojas, and then they moved everybody around. And he must not have liked it because we don't know what he said, but I'm guessing what he said. I'm guessing that he said, "That's BS, MF."
Wow.
That's what I think crossed the line. I think he added the curse word after the BS. That's BS. That's what I think Rob Thompson reacted to. And when you do that in the dugout, you do it in front of people in the dugout.
And then you have to make a show of it.
Well, Rob Thompson had choices. He could have ignored it, and a lot of managers would ignore it this day and age, or he could have reacted, which he did immediately. He got ahead of the story and said, "This was what happened after I benched him, and I didn't like it. It was inappropriate." And then the next day, we find out that he doesn't put him in the lineup. So there are people on both sides of this argument, including our morning guy John Kincade, who said it didn't deserve a benching. I certainly think it did.
Yeah.
If he did this in like the corridor or so, or nobody saw it, then maybe you have a little more leeway as a manager. You're still angry with him, and then you have a one-on-one meeting with him, and you bring him in, and nobody knows what it is. But since he did it in the dugout, and since he did it in front of the team, the manager has to react, or he loses his whole clubhouse.
Agreed. I feel like you have to set the precedent that I will not be spoken to in that regard. I will not be disrespected in my own dugout during the game. I made a decision. I'm the manager. You have to accept it. You don't have to like it, but you do have to accept it. And I can't imagine that Castellanos, if once he cooled off, realized that you can't talk to your manager that way. I think it's great that he has probably a great relationship with Topper, but at the same time, you can't speak to him. Like, no one should be spoken to that way without repercussions.
The other factor is a lot of people, well, how could you break a consecutive game played streak? He only trails Cal Ripken by 2,400. Come on. Is that relevant at all? He's going to break the streak?
I think we go back to last year when, Castellanos was struggling mightily at the start of the season and for chunks of it, really, until about the All-Star break. And there was constant calls about should you give him a day off? And Rob Thompson said, listen, it's important for Nick Castellanos to play every day. I appreciate that about him, and I'm going to play him every day. So I think people are kind of latching onto that aspect of it, being like, well, that's important to him. Well, it's also important to treat your manager with respect.
Exactly, especially when you just point out the manager had his back all last year. Yep. As far as playing every day, when people said maybe you give him a day off. So I think the right thing was that it's like when Charlie Manuel benched Jimmy Rollins.
For not running it out.
I mean, occasionally, no matter how big the player is, in front of your team, you've got to keep that kind of respect going. And they see, wow, he's gonna bench him for doing that. I mean, that's a message to us all. That's the way I think Thompson processed it as an old school guy. Now, a newer school guy may have let it roll off his back, but that it was something said that was vile to Rob Thompson.
I think it could have, who knows, maybe it pushed the line of whatever Rob Thompson deems. Rob Thompson has probably heard all of it. Let's be honest, okay? He's been around baseball a long time. I'm sure he's been called a bunch of things. I'm sure he's been around guys when they speak of things that are completely inappropriate for whatever the time and the cause is. But I think it's the situation, as you mentioned. I think it's doing it in the dugout. Yes, I'm sure something that said was probably something that Rob Thompson has heard before. But the timing of it and the way that the reaction of him being pulled from the game and being said in front of the rest of the team, I think is probably what really put them.
He could have used the P word.
Could have. Could have used a couple of
Could
different
have
words.
used the P word like
much
as
more
in,
derogatory terms.
You're a blank
Right.
for doing that. That's weak. In other words, saying that's weak. But he said something that triggered him. So here's the ramifications now. As people talk about this, could this backfire? I heard John say this. That could it backfire? How? What? Castellanos is going to sulk? Well, if he sulks, that's totally on him.
That's on him, yeah.
And he's going to be letting it down his own family, his teammates. If he sulks, it's like the Alec Boehm thing way back. You're going to sulk in front of us. We don't have any time for that. We're trying to survive, and you're going to sulk because of something the manager did? We don't have any empathy for that.
And that's the thing. At some point, you have to be the player that everybody wants you to be. You have to step up. And if you're not going to step up, then you're going to get called on the carpet. And that's what happened here. And so Nick Castellanos has to take his medicine. He says, I respect the decision and whatever else. The quote was a very short quote about I know when he made the decision and, I have to accept it.
Yeah.
Now his next step is to go back out there and just prove that it was just a one-off. Because if you let it, like you said, fester or sulk or mope about it, well, then now you're affecting yourself and you're affecting your team. And I would have an issue with that as a teammate if I see him out there pouting. I don't know that Nick Castellanos is going to do that. But if it were to happen, I would be like, "What are we doing here, dude?"
Yeah. He's not my favorite guy, frankly, on this team. But he does play with energy, and he does play hard, and he does do most of the right things, working out and running hard. And he's turned himself into an average outfielder when it looks like he would struggle because of his lack of athleticism. But so I'll give him credit for what he's done. He's turned into a singles hitter, which I don't like. But this is a whole new thing. This I think is something that maybe can galvanize a team when you do something like that as a manager. So I think Rob Thompson. I like Rob Thompson a lot. There are a lot of people that said he never makes his players accountable. Well,
there you go.
There's a situation, right? Ray Dunn is with us today. Ray, your thoughts on this whole Castellanos situation?
Does he think twice the next time he wants to bring in a defensive replacement? Because ultimately, your best defensive outfield is not one with Nick Castellanos. I understand last night it's hilarious the timing of the world where Kepler loses a ball in the lights and he ends up dropping that ball and it ends up being a problem for the Phillies in the game where they don't have Castellanos there. Castellanos' range, I'm not even going to bank on him getting to that baseball anyways. But the point is, does this instance of Castellanos going back at his manager make him think twice about making a defensive replacement late, and does that end up costing his team later on down the line?
How so?
Because your best defensive outfield does not include Nick Castellanos. Late in the game, he's justified to make he's always justified as the manager. But that move specifically in the eighth inning of a game that's a close game with the Marlins, he's justified to bring Rojas into that game for defense.
Yeah, but why hasn't he done that in the past?
It might be something he's trying out to do more now. At some point, Castellanos can work on his outfield, work on his game, all this. He is who he is.
Has he really killed them in the outfield, though? He hasn't killed them.
Well, he doesn't kill you in errors. He kills you. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. The batting average and balls in play against the Phillies is one of the worst in baseball. Part of that's because they don't have the range. He doesn't have the range as a right fielder. Balls drop in. It's like, oh, yeah, that dropped in. A guy that actually has a little bit more speed to him, more athleticism, is going to get to that baseball.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, though. Why would he do it then? Why was that date circled that he would use the defensive replacement for Rojas? Was there more to this story? Did Castellanos tick him off earlier in the game that influenced that decision to do it for the first time?
I don't think that. I mean, I think right now what you're doing for this team by metrics is not a tremendous defensive team. And if you're looking for ways to improve them late in games, if you want to help your bullpen out, this bullpen can be victimized by weak contact, can be victimized by poor defense behind it. One way to solve that is by putting a better defensive outfield behind it. And I think that's something they could try out to better themselves. Like, we talk about what they could do at the deadline a ton. One thing they're not really going to be able to do at the deadline is improve them defensively. This is an internal improvement you can make defensively late in games. Just improving your outfield in that sense.
I don't like it, by the way.
Yeah, you don't like the defensive replacement?
I do not like the defensive placement when it's a guy that can't hit. When you have a chance that the lineup comes back around. I do not like it that it's Rojas is your defensive replacement.
Well, in that case, it only came back around to him because they scored runs.
Well, that's a possibility.
I think
it's always a possibility, and then you're caught with your pants down.
Well, no, I mean, the Phillies only got back to him because the Phillies scored runs, not because the Marlins.
I don't like the defensive replacement thing when it comes to Rojas replacing Castellanos. I don't think that Castellanos should have gone crazy and put himself in this situation. But there are a lot of people out there who think that defending Rob Thompson in this situation is not the right thing to do. That what Rob did was wrong. And I'd love to hear that perspective from people, from fans who think that. Fans will always side with the player. Castellanos, for some reason, is popular with the Philly fan base, maybe because of the Liam situation, but they always will side with the player more than they will side with authority. So I'd love to hear from the text board or in telephone calls what you have to say about that. 610-632-0975. It is General Knowledge Wednesday. Here's what we're going to do. The prize, by the way, is getting to that flyer draft, and we'll tell you some specifics about it. It's Ray versus the audience, but Ray today has Amy as the lifeline. And Amy is ready for the challenge.
I'm ready.
610-632-0975. We're back after this.
We want to hear from you.
Fiddle sitting in today. Ray Dunn is here, the whole crew. It is General Knowledge Wednesday. Let me tell you what the prize is today. A pair of tickets and free parking for the Flyers draft party in Atlantic City. There you go.
Yes,
Plus, the winner gets a Flyers fan merch pack to pick up at the party. Draft party is Friday, June 27th, 6 to 10 p.m. at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel in Atlantic City. The winner gets a fan merch pack to pick up at the party. Tickets for the Flyers NHL Draft Party and Fanatic Live broadcast are $6 a person. Proceeds that benefit Flyers charities. The broadcast features John I Hate Topper Kincade, Tim Saunders,
That's good.
Jim Alcal Jackson, and our old pal Jason Martinez. As well as multiple guests throughout the night, special appearances at the party. Flyers honcho Dan Hilferty, Flyers head coach Rick Tocchet, Flyers alums Mark Recchi and Todd Fedoruk, and much more. That's your prize for today, all you Flyer fans. And all you got to do is beat Ray Dunn in General Knowledge. The categories today are General Knowledge, Leonardo DiCaprio movies, people with B initials. Either first or last.
Either. That's because you can't. It's not both.
Correct.
Okay, that's important.
Not a double B.
Okay.
One B.
Good to know.
You look nervous.
I am a little bit. I want to make sure I do well for Ray. But I'm like Leo movies. I'm like, oh gosh,
just so you know, Bill never helped me once. So any help you could give me is already more than I've ever got.
You get 3 challenges, Ray, to Amy.
Okay.
All right?
Throughout the whole.
Amy, what's your movie knowledge like?
DiCaprio movies, I mean.
Pretty good. It's got to be pretty
It's
good.
okay.
Yeah.
It's better than mine. I can assure you of that.
Okay.
Well, see, this is, you're either going to tell me whether he was in this movie or not. So it's 50.
Oh, I feel like I got a good shot at that then.
It's 50-50.
You're probably okay.
I've seen a trailer or two.
Yeah, there you go. It's 50-50. All right. I am, first of all, let's hear Rob Thompson talk about the benching, and then we'll get to, there are an abundance of texts that are critical of Thompson and pro Castellanos, and I'm itching to see some of these. So go ahead. Here's Rob Thompson talking about the benching.
Well, last night, one of the many things about Nick that I love is that he's very emotional. He loves to play, and he loves to play every inning of every game. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out, and so today he's not going to play. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, he's going to leave it at that. So we're left to speculate what he could have possibly said. So the people that are pro Castellanos, because I can venture what he said. He comes off and he says, "That's bleeping BS, you bleep bleeper." I guarantee you it was along those lines. Now, if you're the manager and he says that to you and the team is right there, how in the world could you be pro Castellanos? That's what I would love to hear.
I also want to know if those people were pro Jimmy Rollins when he got benched.
No, because they hated Jimmy too.
So they were pro Charlie Manuel in that instance.
Right.
But they're anti Rob Thompson.
Exactly, because Nick
like Nick.
Because of Liam.
Do you think it's the only reason why?
I think Liam gives him cachet.
Topper has a point there, and I appreciate that he did preface it by saying I think that he does like the passion and the fire with which Nick, that you were just talking about, Nick Castellanos plays with. I imagine there was a line that was crossed. I'm imagining there was a word or words that were
either MF or P.
Something that was a little bit more than just the average offensive curse word.
Yes.
That's my guess.
I totally agree, because if he came off and said, "Oh, come on, man," that wouldn't have done
Even
it.
if he said like one or two, but I think when you
there were curse words involved.
I imagine it was like a derogatory word.
Yes.
That would be my. And you
I
just
totally
can't.
agree.
Yeah, you can't say that stuff
right.
in front of the
So
rest of the
let's
team.
get to the text who believe that Rob Thompson was in the wrong here, right?
JC from Lewis. Nick is a pro. Career 275 hitter with 250 homers and 800 OPS. Plays every day. You could do worse. These are all grown men. If this was animated, the cameras would have picked it up. This may cost them the season.
Oh, come on now. This may cost him the season.
One benching.
Well, if he
I
was,
guess they're saying there's going to be a ripple effect that Nick Castellanos is now just going to put his middle finger up and be like, "I'm not playing anymore." Like that's not Nick Castellanos.
And if he does that, he'll get killed in this town.
And the texter literally started saying he's a professional. So if he's a professional, he can take it and he'll move on.
And if he's
I think he is.
And if he's a professional, why does he do it in the first place?
Yeah,
that's not professional. What he did.
Let his emotions get the better of him. I get it. But if he's a professional, like the texter said from Lewis, I think they said they were, then he's going to be able to be like, all right, I did it. I take my medicine. Now I'm back at it. I'm back at it tonight. I'm back in the lineup. Also, don't need a defensive replacement. Just be better.
Well, Mark from Lansdale chimes in with if you replaced me for Rojas, I would be upset as well. Why wasn't this handled internally?
Yeah, like I said,
it is handled internally.
Well, he's saying, why did he have to make it public? Well, if he benches him, you know that the questions are going to happen, and
exactly. Why?
And so he'd rather be honest. The fact that he was honest with the populace, the fans, the sports fans, I think it wins him points. Yeah, this is why I did it, because he did this.
Yeah, it's a good point, because he could have said like he just needed a day off, which everybody would have been like, "What's wrong?"
Yeah,
he was a guy that prides himself on playing every game.
And you know how reporters are; they get little dribs and drabs.
Yeah,
some player's going to tell a reporter, "Hey, you know what? He did this. That's why."
Yeah.
They're going to find that out, and once they find that out, you look stupid if you're not honest about it.
You have to say exactly why he was benched.
All right, what else we got, Ray? I want to go along this time. I love the fact that players support the player over any kind of authority.
Now,
except if it was Charlie Manuel. But go ahead.
Because Rob Thompson is such a player's coach, what if he said something about Rojas being a AAA player, like, what are you putting me on the bench for this guy kind of thing?
Well,
if he disparaged,
if he disparaged his teammate, then
that's absolutely justified.
Yeah, exactly.
That would surprise me. I don't think Castellanos is that guy. He's never struck me as a guy that would throw a teammate under a bus.
Yeah, no, I
But if that was the case, any chance you would have, you would bench a player.
Again, I am not in favor of the defensive replacement when it comes to Rojas, because I think that can come back to bite you offensively. I would never do that unless there was a guy that I was confident could get a hit every now and then.
Right.
And this guy can't. So, but by the same token, if he curse worded him and came off and said, that's BS that you doing that to me, blah, 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 well, you got to take matters into your manager's hands. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. General Knowledge Wednesday. Can you beat Ray and Amy? The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Castellanos bench Tuesday night. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. After 236 consecutive starts, Nick Castellanos did not appear at the Phillies lineup on Tuesday night. Rob Thompson spoke to the media prior to the game, saying that Castellanos made inappropriate comment following his removal for Monday's game, where Thompson lifted him for a defensive replacement.
One of the many things about Nick that I love is that he's very emotional. He loves to play, and he loves to play every inning of every game. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out, and so today he's not going to play.
We'll keep you updated if we hear anything more regarding Nick Castellanos and the comment that he made to Rob Thompson. Phillies proceeded to lose the game 8-3 last night to the Marlins. Jesus Luzardo allowed 4 runs in 5 innings in his return to Miami. Each Phillies pitcher that appeared in the game allowed an earned run at least. Trey Turner had a home run for the second consecutive game, and now the Phillies and Marlins play again tonight at 6:40. Ranger Suarez against Adam Mazer on the mound. The Panthers won the Stanley Cup last night after a 5-1 win over the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6. That's 2 straight titles for the Panthers, beating the Oilers in both finals. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is your chance to reclaim your restless nights and upgrade to a premium mattress. Get matched, sleep at night. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. I don't know if people think this is a big story or not. There seems to be more pro Castellanos than pro
like
Thompson.
They're like, they wish that Topper handled it different. I see a lot of that. And I'm like, what else would you want him to do? I get that you think that he should have handled it behind closed doors. But the problem is, as you pointed out, if you bench Castellanos and you don't say why, or you kind of lie about it, it's going to come back to bite you.
So, do people think that
they should have not benched him?
It wasn't bench worthy? Yeah.
Those are the people that I would counter with. They don't know what was said. You can't.
Yeah, we were musing what was said because it's fun. There had to be.
I think there was.
First of all, there's no question. He said that's a BS move, and then he added, and he either used the P word, the F word, or the MF.
I think there was like a personal.
Yes.
A derogatory type of statement.
Exactly, and that's what did the whole thing. Now, if he just said that's BS, Rob,
and
then walked away, maybe that wasn't,
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, and you probably said it walking away, and it's just like, that's not how you can't. I made the decision. You respect the decision. You don't have to like it, but you have to respect the decision. I am the manager.
Yes. So here the other choice. He could have let it roll off his back, did nothing. He could have let it roll off his back, called Nick in the clubhouse after the game, and said, "You're benched tomorrow." But then and then try to hide it by saying he deserved the day off, and then they would say, "Well, wait a minute, he deserved the day off. He's got a 236 game playing streak." So people would have got to I think Thompson figured it out really quickly in his head.
It's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. You're not going to show up your manager in front of the rest of the team and not have repercussions.
Yes.
And the thing is, people have asked for. You pointed out. There's so many times this season where like Rob Thompson needs to hold players accountable, and then he holds a player accountable, and it's like, well, not like that.
Yeah, but it's Nick.
Not like that.
It's Liam. It's the Liam factor with Nick. Does Nick come off to you as a very likable guy?
See, I don't have an issue with him. I've never had. I guess I haven't had enough negative interactions to know. I've seen like that. People could take him as kind of a surly guy. I've never had that.
I've seen him in the clubhouse be very surly and very removed.
Yeah.
And it's strange. And people that have covered baseball for a long time will tell you that he does have that strangeness about him. So I don't warm up to him as a player. He's one of the players on this team I don't warm up to. But I also would not take him out of the game for defensive reasons and put Rojas in the game. I just wouldn't do that.
The offense.
Now, people know here that I'm not a big Rojas fan at all. But a guy that can't hit, you can't put in the lineup in case the game's tied and it comes around to his spot, and you got Rojas hitting in that spot. I don't like to do that.
And it's interesting, when he was taken out, I think the Marlins they had scored. The Blue Jays had scored. It was 3-2, right?
Yes.
I think they scored after that. So then there was a concern of, like.
Yeah, maybe it comes around. Now, Ray has no problem with that defensive replacement. You don't think about the offensive part of that defensive placement.
No, I do. He had batted in the 8th inning. Mm-hmm. They needed to score runs. Like, if they were going to get him back up to bat, the Phillies would have scored runs in the 9th inning, which they did.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So it worked out.
There's always a chance where that spot, now you go in extra innings, that spot comes up. Then what do you got? You got Rojas?
You got other hitters. Like
you also have Rojas in a key spot.
Yeah, but you've got a big outfield there in Miami where, again, if we look at what he is, Nick Castellanos, per StatCast this year, outs above average, 32 of 32 right fielders with at least 50 attempts. Outfield jumps, 86 of 89 qualified outfielders. Like, he's just not a good outfielder.
I get it.
You need to help that.
But good hitter replaced with a horrendous hitter. That's where I can't jive with that.
While you're winning, and you've got all your horses in the bullpen available. Like,
I'm just not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. Back in the day, the major replacement they used to do defensively was Jerry Martin for Greg Luzinski. And, of course, that was the notorious, you didn't do it once, and Greg Luzinski didn't catch a fly ball, and it made you lose a series. But Jerry Martin could hit. Like, the guys that you replace another guy with have a bat, and you don't feel the sting as much. That's all I'm saying. Rojas, no, I'm not doing it with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that – I don't mind it in certain instances because when it comes in, I don't know – obviously Rojas is a better outfielder than Nick Castellanos, but Nick Castellanos is not a terrible outfielder. He really isn't. I think he's
Well, by Ray's numbers, he is. But you're right.
not a terrible outfielder.
He has managed to make some
makes some
running
good plays.
catches and charge catches and stuff like that. But Ray's saying his range now analytically is horrendous.
It is. You see how much ground Rojas can cover. There's a reason he's in center field, right? I mean, we know that. There's no surprise there. Castellanos can't do that. His arm is probably it's okay. He can get the ball in. But yeah, he's not Vlad Guerrero out there gunning guys down at third.
Exactly. All right. We'll get back to more texts. There's some pro Thompson texts coming in, but the initial ones were critical of Thompson and pro Castellanos. Reggie, our traveling truck driver, is in Bowling Green. Well, that's
Bowling
not
Green, Ohio or Kentucky?
Oh, it's Bowling Green, Ohio. He's in. Reggie, what's happening? What's in Bowling Green, Ohio?
Oh, good morning, Mike, Ray, Amy. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
All right. Bowling Green, Ohio I'm about a mile from the State University. So that's the big thing here in Bowling Green. And then down
Bowling Green was in Kentucky, the university, isn't it?
No.
Bowling Green is in Ohio?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now down in Kentucky is where Chevrolet Corvettes are assembled.
Oh, okay.
That makes that place. Yeah.
Look at this. Reggie educating us about the country. I love it.
Little general knowledge. Now, Nick Castellanos is from the northern Miami area.
Yes.
So maybe he was using some northern Miami English when he...
Like Spanglish?
No, he doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
Let me see. Davie is halfway between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So Davie is a different neighborhood, but yeah, on the what is that, Broward County area. But he BS. I know that was said.
No question about it. BS. That's BS.
And
then he went further and he got personal with Rob and called him a name.
Right. Yeah. So when you get personal, you have to be disciplined and because if one attempts it and gets away with it, you know how human nature is. Others will try.
Yeah. See, Rob Thompson's a guy who can let that go, though. He will let that go. Me, that would stick to me. You call me what?
No, I don't let it go. I don't jokingly.
It sticks to Italians in general.
You know how jokingly some people they go, F you in a conversation, and then they keep on laughing.
Yeah.
I've never done that to anyone, and I don't let anyone do that to me. Never.
I hear you. Never. I hear you, brother.
Yeah.
I hear you.
No, never.
All right, Reggie, listen. You're the first general knowledge contestant.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. Hold on a second. Let me get it now. General knowledge question is, you would address a king by saying, Your Majesty. How would you address the Pope?
Your papal, I think that's part of the word, papal.
Nope, that's incorrect, Reggie. You would address him by saying, Your Holiness.
Oh.
Your Holiness.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for playing. We appreciate it. All right, Ray Bob. Here's your question. Ray, what type of leaf is stereotypically used to cover up nudity? It's in the Bible, too, isn't it? Isn't it a Bible thing, too? What leaf is used to cover up nudity? You see it in paintings, in classic old paintings by great artists as well.
Ivy?
Ivy. An ivy leaf?
Yeah.
That would be incorrect.
Is it a fig
Amy,
leaf?
fig leaf is correct.
Oh,
But you
yes.
didn't ask for the lifeline, right?
I didn't. No, I'm going to save it for later on in the show.
All right. No lifeline. Amy had it.
The art. I remember it in art.
Yeah, there
It
you
was in
go.
art.
The fig leaf, because it's big. Sometimes you need a smaller fig leaf. Sometimes you need a big one. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Hey, everybody. It's
10:42, Mike Missanelli Show. Oh, it's a big prize today for General Knowledge Wednesday. I hope people think it's a big prize. All right?
It's a big prize.
It is a big prize. You get to hang out with the, especially for Flyer fans.
It's a lot of people coming through that party.
Flyer fans. Yeah, especially coming off last night. The Florida Panthers, the dynasty that they are, win another Stanley Cup. And Ray, guess who bet on the Panthers last night?
That would be you.
That would be me.
Well done.
That is correct. That was a no-brainer. That bet.
Yeah, they weren't losing that
And they
game.
were going to lose it. And they got on them early. So the Panthers win another Stanley Cup. Sunrise, Florida, Amy. 2 Stanley Cups. They got parades in Sunrise, Florida.
Well, Shawnee was
hockey.
watching last night because wanted to see the cup and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And our trivia question was the last Canadian team to win the cup for him. That was our trivia question to him.
Did he get it?
No.
Was it Montreal?
Do you know what year?
Leclerc?
1993.
Was that Leclerc team?
I don't think so.
It wasn't? Was it before Leclerc?
I feel like it. I'd have to look that up.
He might have been on that team.
Was he on that team?
Might have been.
It was 1993, 30 plus years ago.
Wow.
It's the last time a Canadian team had won the Stanley Cup.
When's the last time the Flyers won a Stanley Cup, by the way?
It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. I was alive for the last time the Canadians. I was not alive for the last time the Flyers won.
I've never seen Canada win.
There you go.
But you are aware that they have.
No.
No?
Very
Who
unaware.
was the goalie for the 1993 Montreal Canadiens?
Let's look this up.
Let's look this up.
Canadian.
By the way, Leclerc was on that team.
Yeah,
there
Leclerc
you
was
go.
on that team. Leclerc had a great series. If I recall, he had a great series. Like he came out of nowhere to score some key goals in that series, if I'm not mistaken.
Jacques Demers was the coach.
Jacques Lemaire?
Demers.
Demers?
Yes. Jacques
Demers.
Leperrier was the assistant coach.
Jacques Leperrier.
I mean, honestly, if you're the Montreal Canadiens and you don't have 2 coaches named Jacques, are you even doing it right? No, you're doing it
That's
wrong.
the old days when they had like
Eric Desjardins is on that. Leclerc,
there you go,
obviously, there you go.
Desjardins.
Patrick Roy, by the way, is the
Patrick Waugh.
Patrick Waugh.
Raw. Sorry.
Did you say?
Wow.
Did you
Come
say
on,
Roy?
it's the
Did you say
Canadiens.
Patrick Roy? That's like a Bill
that
thing,
is
right?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
think you gave it a little bit of flair, but it's wow.
2003 was his last season, and I'm not a hockey guy. I apologize.
Patrick Waugh.
That's Patrick Waugh, Eric Desjardins,
greatest
John
of all
Leclerc.
time. Yeah, I
and that's
know.
when they made the deal. When did the Flyers get them? In 95?
That sounds
That
right.
trade was consummated in 1995. They got both of them, and they traded Mark Recchi in that deal, I do believe. I don't know
And
my
the Cana-
hockey. Come
and
on.
the Canadians never went back. No, I was kidding. They did go back, but they just didn't win it. Flyers didn't win it either. Mike Keane was on that.
You got the trade?
Yeah.
What trade?
The trade I just mentioned.
John
They
Leclerc
got
trade?
Eric Desjardins, as Tim Saunders would say, and John Leclerc
Yep.
for Mark Recchi.
February
somebody.
1995. Eric Desjardins, Gilbert Dion exchanged for Mark Recchi and a 3rd-round draft pick. One of the best in Flyers history. Leclerc formed the Legion of Doom.
There you go.
Obviously, we
So
all
they
know.
didn't get Desjardins in the same deal?
Yes.
Oh, they did.
Leclerc, Desjardins, and Gilbert Dion.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I want to
No,
make him
Gilbert
French
Dion
and make him
was Marcel
Gilbert.
Dion's relative, the great Marcel Dion back in
I
the
want
day.
him. I want him
His
to be
brother.
French. I'm going to make
Is it
him
his brother?
Gilbert.
Yep.
Oh, it's his brother.
Is it Gilbert? I really hope it is instead of Gilbert. I want it to be
It's gotta
Gilbert.
be Gilbert.
I'm not pronouncing
Right.
anything hockey-wise
Gilbert
for the rest
Dion.
of the show.
Gilbert Dion, yeah.
That's why I'm going to make it super French.
He's brother of Marcel Dion,
There you
the
go.
great Marcel. That's my hockey knowledge, right?
So it's 1995. Correct.
Ray, do you believe people shortchange my hockey knowledge?
You crushed it. Not only did you know that
Yeah.
Leclerc was on that team,
Exactly.
but he was good for that team.
That's correct.
And he was traded.
Right. Do we have his performance in that Stanley Cup Finals?
I've got his numbers for the season, not for that. Hold on.
Stanley Cup. He had a big Stanley Cup playoffs.
I've played.
Leclerc, are we talking about just that?
Did the playoffs?
Oh, the
series.
playoffs.
The playoff series. All the playoff series. Leclerc was big. The whole playoff series for the Canadians.
Okay.
Scored a monster goal, I believe, in one game. to
Stanley
win.
Cup Finals. Stats and news. It's just a deeper dive to find all of this. After
Yeah, I
ready.
know. That is a deep dive. but
So regular season,
not
you got to
that
go
it matters
playoffs.
to anybody, but John,
All
okay.
right, 20 games played in the 1992-93 playoffs. 4 goals, 6 assists. It's obviously 10 points.
He had a big goal.
Penalty minutes 14. Well done.
John LeClaire is one of my favorite players.
Plus minus was a +2.
My two favorite players are Lynn Jost and John LeClaire.
Well, that's your Legion of Doom. That's why you know that trait so well.
Yeah. Well, it's 2/3.
Well, yes,
Legion,
I'm sorry.
The Legion of Boom.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I've played golf with John LeClaire. Very good golfer.
Nice guy, too.
Super
Lives in
nice.
my neighborhood.
Great guy.
Run into him in the hardware store every now and then.
Like the Ace Hardware?
Well, it's the DMI hardware store
Oh.
in Wynwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at your handy.
They might be an Ace affiliated. Either your Ace or True Value, right?
Yeah.
I
Like
think
ours is
maybe the
Ace.
True Value. I don't know. No, nobody cares. Back to
Back to
the
idea.
text board. Give me the pro Thompson text coming in and defensive replacement text as well, Ray.
Yeah, we got a lot of text rolling in here. Mike at Camp Hill, what do older generations detest most about millennials? Entitlement. Cassie's behavior reeks entitlement. How dare you take me out of this game even though I'm statistically the second worst defensive outfielder in baseball? I've played 263 straight games.
Listen, I wouldn't be happy about being taken out of a game either. I wouldn't think it would be necessary to take me out of a game. You're telling me that I stink in some form by taking me out of a game. I wouldn't be happy with that. I'd probably give him a dirty look. I wouldn't go as far as to maybe to do what he did, but I would not be happy with my manager. You're embarrassing me by doing that. You're not an embarrassed player. Well, I think Rob Thompson never does is embarrass players. He's embarrassing a high-profile player by taking him out of the game for a guy who's way inferior to him offensively and in stature.
All right, Jesse from Phillipsburg here. If I say anything along the lines of disrespect to my boss, that will either get me written up, suspended, or fired. Topper did the right thing. Nick said something he shouldn't have said. Therefore, he had to suffer consequences. It's life.
All right. So there you go. That's a pro Rob. Now, give me one more pro Castellanos on why this should not have come to this. Got one?
Why does Castellanos get replaced for defense, but Bohm and Turner, who are bad defenders, stay in the game? That's not fair to Castellanos.
What kind of an idiot would think Bohm is a bad defender? Wait, are you not paying attention to the game? Where is he a bad defender? He's almost played at a high level, a Gold Glove level this year at third base. He's made tremendous throws on the run when he goes to his right and flips it to first base. He's mastered that play. Where is he a bad defensive player? That guy's not paying attention. Come on, man. Well, who else was a bad defensive player?
Turner.
Okay, well.
See, that's idiotic. Who's going to be a replacement at shortstop? You're going to take Turner out of a game as your leadoff hitter and your best offensive player who's going to make the All-Star game.
You could just switch him.
No good.
Stott's a better defensive shortstop.
No, he isn't.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I do not think so.
Yes.
Where has he proven that, Amy? He's never proven that. He was a mediocre shortstop when he had the job.
He's a better defensive infielder.
He's a better defensive second baseman. He's a second baseman.
Okay.
610-6320. This is our first argument, me and Amy.
I just think
First
that Stott's
argument.
better at shortstop
than
Trey Turner
no
defensively.
way he would be a better shortstop than Trey Turner.
You can't say no way.
No way. He doesn't have shortstop instincts. You can tell a natural shortstop from a second baseman. Stott is right where he should be in big leagues.
Agree to disagree. Okay. Oh, I'm fine with him as a second baseman, but I think it's not the worst idea if he moves to short.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible idea.
Okay.
All right. I think Sosa is a better shortstop.
Well, yes.
Than Stott, not than Turner.
Sosa's a better shortstop than Turner.
No. Not on an everyday basis. All right, we'll take a break.
Okay.
Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Castellanos bench Tuesday night. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. After 236 consecutive starts, Nick Castellanos did not appear in the Phillies lineup on Tuesday night. Rob Thompson spoke to media prior to the game, saying that Castellanos made an inappropriate comment following his removal from Monday's game, where Thompson lifted him for a defensive replacement.
One of the many things about Nick that I love is that he's very emotional. He loves to play, and he loves to play every inning of every game. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out, and so today he's not going to play.
We'll keep you updated if we hear anything more about the situation between Castellanos and Thompson. The Phillies proceeded to lose the game last night 8-3 to the Marlins. Jesus Luzardo allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings in his return to Miami. Each Phillies pitcher that appeared in the game allowed at least an earned run. Trey Turner had a home run for the second consecutive game, and now the Phillies-Marlins play again tonight at 6:40. Ranger Suarez against Adam Mazur on the mound. The Panthers won the Stanley Cup after a 5-1 win over the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6. That's 2 straight titles for the Panthers, beating the Oilers in both Stanley Cup finals. This update is brought to you by the International Hot Rod Association. Nitro's back. The IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series is lighting up the track. Nitro Nation, grab your tickets now at IHRA.com. IHRA.com. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA Finals action. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ricky Bo.
Show General Knowledge Wednesday. 8 participants. Amy's itching to be Ray's lifeline. Ray snubbed her for the first question. saving the lifelines. It's like saving timeouts. You can't get them back, right?
And I hope that I know.
Man, you were on the air when Andy Reid was in town. That would be like me taking a timeout in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter. They got the question wrong.
But it's
still tied.
It's important to get on the board.
Oh, you want me to kick the field goal? No, I'm going for touchdowns. I'm about explosive plays.
I hope I know. I hope I know when it's called upon.
By the way, lost in the Castellanos Rob Thompson snafu was that the Phillies lost last night to the Marlins 8-3. And the important part was their starting pitcher did not hold up his end of the bargain again. And that's Jesus Luzardo. Now, I started to look at that and I go, if he falls off and does not regain that consistency that he had early on, could he be the pitcher who is left out of the rotation come playoff time and he becomes the left-hander you use out of the bullpen in high leverage late inning situations? In other words, you go Wheeler, Ranger, Nola, Sanchez.
Interesting. Honestly, when you said that, I was just like, what? No. All right, and so your bullpen has Taijuan Walker and
Yeah, but
Jesus
Taijuan
Luzardo.
Walker is irrelevant. I'm talking about high leverage situation. Yesterday I was saying how they needed a Luzardo type from the left side, and
In the bullpen.
Aroldis Chapman was my guy that they could acquire for that role. Could a guy like Luzardo fill a relief role because he throws hard enough? He's got high velocity. Could he be the guy that eventually becomes the guy that they use in the bullpen? They're going to have to use one of their starters in the bullpen when they get out of that first series.
Well, the thought process is that Aaron Nola is back and ready to go.
Yes.
Okay.
So Wheeler, Ranger, Nola, Sanchez.
I mean, if Luzardo goes on this, what we've seen now, it's been 3 of the last 4 have been rocky, then yeah, I think that would be the case. I hope that it's not the case. I hope he quits himself and turns back into the guy he started the season with. I feel like we had this conversation about Ranger last year when he went on the shelf.
We did, but I need more velocity coming out of the bullpen. I don't know if Ranger's a high leverage type of guy. I know he's done it in the past, but this would be a different situation.
I mean, he's done it. It did it in 22 and 23.
And the reason I have it stacked like this is because that would be a series against the Mets. As it's faced now, the second round would be against the Mets. So I got Wheeler and Ranger on the road.
Right.
Nola, Sanchez at home.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of it. I like the idea better of having the problem of Jesus Luzardo is pitching exceptionally well, and you make the call because you've got too many options, and not the option of, like, here's a guy that's struggled down the stretch, and so we're going to stick him in the bullpen.
So for later innings, you got 4. Luzardo, Strom from the left side, Kerkering, Romano from the right side to get through the final 2 innings.
I like it. Just Taijuan Walker.
Taijuan, he doesn't figure it.
No, he doesn't.
No,
well, a couple of years ago, he wasn't even on the
Taijuan
roster.
Walker, if they like a starter has a high pitch count, he pitches the 6th.
Right, just to get you through to your pen.
Right, that's all I would use him with. The 6th.
As if it's on the roster.
Yeah. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Let's go to the phones, and we got Brian checking in from Hamilton. Brian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Yeah, first of all, I want to say the ad in between during your commercials for Unfiltered, the fact that Bill says repercussions bothers me. I mean, I personally, I don't think there was anything wrong with Thompson benching him. I think the fact that he did bench him, it had to be something crazy because he wouldn't do it normally. So just the fact that he did it should tell you it was bad.
Right.
And it was done in front of people. No, it had to be because it was in the dugout.
It must have been
right?
extreme for him to do that.
Right, because he would never do it.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can't let yourself be disrespected in front of a team because then the team thinks you're soft. You know?
Well, then they think they can do it.
And then,
yeah.
Right, and then Cassie will do it again.
Right.
Most likely because he's the most emotional one there, so he'll do it again too. So
Exactly.
I think that's exactly right. I think it's perfect. I mean, it's not like he's not gonna play today. He'll play.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I think Thompson holding is like if Thompson got called a vile name, I give him credit for not lashing back on him like Billy Martin would have done back in the day, Reggie Jackson. So he held his composure. He said, "Okay, here's what I'm going to do. You're not in the lineup tomorrow."
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, and he's way back anyway. So I mean, I don't think he's ever benched anybody 2 games. So I mean, I can't. It's over.
It's funny.
Yeah, I imagine they had a conversation too.
Yeah, if he did it again tonight, that would be awesome.
I really don't think he learned your lesson.
We're not going to do it, but he probably would be out of line if he did it. But wouldn't it be awesome to talk about if he did it again?
What did he now I'd have to know what he said.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right, Brian, you want to play general knowledge?
Yeah.
All right, it's Leonardo DiCaprio movies. Okay. Was he in the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Leonardo?
Leonardo.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
He was in the movie Catch Me If You Can. That is correct. All right, that's good work. Hold on a second. We got our first correct answer. Let's stick him on hold there. All right, Ray? The movie Heat. Was Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie Heat?
No.
Amy shook her head.
That'll count as one of Amy's helps.
You knew that, though.
So now, hold a second. The commissioner rules that that is a non-correct answer because Amy had given you the answer by shaking her head.
That's a correct answer.
I could have taken. I could have said, "I don't know about that."
You
Amy.
You were not permitted. You were not permitted to give you a hint.
I forgot he could see me.
Ray, that's an answer that has been disqualified.
Okay,
So it's a non-answer.
The non-answer.
Okay.
Ray,
I will not move.
was Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie Black Hawk Down?
Amy, what do you think?
Its first lifeline is being used.
He was not in the movie Black Hawk
He was
Down.
not in the movie Black Hawk Down is correct. We have a 1-1 tie.
There you go. See,
See, there you go.
use him to keep up.
Have you seen Black Hawk Down,
No.
Ray?
Oh, it's a great movie. Really?
It was written by a friend of mine.
Really?
The book, yeah, Mark Bowden.
Oh,
I used to work with him at the Inquirer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew it was
he
Mark
We
Bowden.
played softball. He was on the softball team with us.
It's a great
guy.
movie.
I think it's a
Heat's
movie
also
actually
a
that I
great
wanna
movie.
watch.
It's Val Kilmer,
Heat's
Robert De Niro.
He's fantastic. He's one of my top 10.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's right up
Ashley
there.
Judd.
Yeah, he played a great role. And who was her paramour in the movie?
Val Kilmer.
That was her regular one, but she had a little side piece.
I don't remember.
Hank Azaria.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about
Little
that.
side piece.
Yeah, that's right.
Ashley was dipping in the wrong
He
inkwell.
still saved Val Kilmer at the end.
Yeah, she did.
Saved him.
Yeah, she saved him.
It's a great
Spoiler
movie.
alert.
Well, not like you have to see the movie. Believe me.
Yeah, Ray.
It's not-
First of all, the movie
That does not spoil it at all.
2 hours at least long.
Oh, yeah, it's a
There's
long
no
movie.
way you're sitting through the movie.
It's a great
But
movie,
It is
though.
a great movie with Al Pacino
Yeah, Pacino,
and
De Niro.
Robert De Niro. The first time
Kilmer.
they actually acted together.
That sounds like a movie I'd enjoy.
Oh,
very
you,
good.
You'd love it.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah, classic. All right, 610-632-0975. More text. Let's go back to the text board. The text board's humming today, and I would like to have conversations with people on this as well. So go ahead, Ray.
I think this is a conversation generator from Paul, I guess in Pennsylvania. I don't know. Maybe Germantown is where his text was. G-Town? Am I assuming Germantown here?
Yeah.
Okay. Paul from Germantown. If you're pro-Nick in this situation, you were already anti-Topper. And I'm curious for people that are anti-Topper if this is one of the situations where they'd actually support Thompson in. Or if people have just lost their faith. Those that hate Rob Thompson just hate Rob Thompson to the level of which they don't see any good in anything he does.
Who are the two most anti-Rob Thompson people here?
John Kincade.
One.
And I'm assuming we're going with Billy C.
Billy C. Billy Colarulo as well. Two anti-Topper guys.
Is it just Topper? Because if this happened in the Eagles and A.J. Brown was taken out of the game and had some words for Nick Sirianni, so he didn't play the next series, what do you think people would say? What would Bill Colarulo say?
Bill would support Nick Sirianni.
Of course he would.
Yes, he would.
Most people would
Hell
be
yeah.
like,
Well,
So much good.
there is the
I'm the smartest
dichotomy.
coach in the world.
that's the thing.
Yes, it's the guy. See, Rob Thompson does not he's not overly popular with the fan base. He's tolerable with the fan base. You wouldn't call him a popular manager, would you?
No.
Well, he used to be. I ride
yes.
with Philly
I
Rob,
think,
but since time has
I
gone
think
on,
people like him, but they didn't used to like Charlie. Winning
yeah,
does
but then
cure
they
all.
love Charlie. I don't think Thompson's ever going to get the Charlie love.
He might if he wins a World Series.
Maybe, possible. You think it's happening?
With some help, maybe
is that
this
gonna
year.
happen? Give me one more text right before we go to the break.
Is this comparable to putting Eric Bruntlett in for Pat Burrell? Charlie made a habit out of that, but the same kind of deal where the placement can't hit. Dan and PA.
He pinch ran for Burrell, didn't he? He didn't put him in left field.
He put him in left.
He put Eric Bruntlett in left
Pretty sure
field?
he did Game 5 of the World Series.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't have done that.
I think he did that even earlier. I think that was
Eric
Burrell
Bruntlett?
gets the double in, what, the 6th?
I just thought he would use Eric Bruntlett in a pinch running situation.
I've seen him play the infield.
Yeah, he played the infield. I don't know. He played left field?
I'm
Yeah,
almost
check-
positive he came
let's
into
check
left
and
field
see.
in
Well,
Game 5 of the World
Let's
Series.
figure that out. Game 5 World Series.
We'll check it out.
During the commercial break.
Yeah, during the commercial. We
Maybe
can
just
research.
pinch ran him there.
610-632-0975. I think he pinch ran him in that spot. But we'll check it. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas, Sean
That was Bill's big moment on the show back in the day.
Bill, just listen to Mike.
Yeah, Bill, listen to Mike. Okay, so there's a trade out there that I was reading a story in the Athletic, Amy. Jim Bowden, former Major League general manager, has 6 trades that he thinks could happen where he would like to see happen. The second one he names is this one. The Orioles trade
I've seen this.
right-handed pitcher Felix Bautista and center fielder Cedric Mullins to the Phillies for right-handed pitcher Mick Abel. Oh, I am so in on that deal. You can't even believe it.
I saw that and I thought that was.
Would the Orioles do? Well, they're not going to
I don't know
re-sign
why.
Mullins.
Right.
He's a free agent. Batista for Mick Abel. Yeah. Well, that would set up their young rotation.
I get why the Orioles would do that.
Yeah, the Orioles would do it, right? Mick Abel. Are we overvaluing Mick Abel?
See, I shouldn't say hate. I don't like that term because he's valuable to somebody. He's valued that for somebody. You know what I mean? Like, are we overvaluing him? No. Because if someone's going to pay that.
I like him. I think he could be.
Make a lot.
Yeah, I think he could be. I like his demeanor more than anything. I think
very even keel.
Yeah, I think he could be a really good starting pitcher, and he's got high end stuff. So that would appeal to the Orioles. Having a closer doesn't matter to them right now, and having Mullins doesn't matter to them. So they're giving you 2 guys that they really don't need for a piece that could be a mainstay in their rotation.
Piece for them. Yeah, I would make that deal in a heartbeat.
Ray? Making that deal?
Absolutely. I'm taking Abel on down to Baltimore. I'll get a couple Orange Crushes down there across the street from Camden Yards.
Go to Pickles
And then
Pub.
the next day, wake up and take them back with me. Bautista and Mullins.
And that would solve 2 problems, actually. You would acquire a starting center fielder. What would you do with the 2 guys you have now?
Oh, won't see him no more.
Well, what are you going to do? DFA? Marsh? You trade Marsh for another relief pitcher? What?
Yes.
Demote him to AAA? What would you do with Marsh?
One of those guys becomes dangling trade bait, I think. And probably Marsh, because you're going to end up getting another left-handed bat.
Marsh has more value than Rojas does.
It's a left-handed, yeah.
All right. That sounds interesting, that trade.
It is.
I hope he's pursuing that trade. Come on, Double D. All right, let's go to the phones. We got B checking in from Westchester. B, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, B?
Yo, Mikey Miss.
What's happening?
What's happening? Is that a legit trade or is that just
That's just speculation.
Speculation, but Jim Bowden's pretty plugged in, so maybe he's heard something.
That's a possibility. I think I'd be all right with that. If Abel gets you that, Abel alone, and there's not something else thrown in with that.
Mean another prospect. If you throw in a center fielder, I would throw in
Can we throw in a Rojas?
I got to be honest with you. I would throw in a center fielder in that deal to get those 2 guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's enough for me to think that's World Series worthy, though, for the Phillies, Mike.
I don't know. If I get another high velocity, high leverage relief pitcher, I may go to the other side of that. And I think Mullins settles you down with an everyday guy that you can hit up the top of the order.
Yeah, Mike, but I keep going back to 3 straight postseason exits where the offense went silent.
Yeah, but you're changing it up a little bit. You're adding some fresh energy. Anytime you add fresh energy, you change the dynamic of a team.
I agree, and I'm counting on these guys, mostly the same guys on offense. I mean, I just want to see them come through in the postseason, like sustain, not the stuff where they get shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping it happens, but, we'll see. But I wanted to, on the Castellanos, when was he taken out of that game? Was it still at least a 1-run game?
8th inning.
It was a 2-run game. It was 3-1 when he was taken out.
Okay, 3-1. 8th inning.
Yeah, my question there, look, I don't support Castellanos because, in my opinion, he's got a little bit of a DB streak to him, and he's kind of got that aloofness sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he said something kind of crazy. But why are we micromanaging the defensive outfield against the Marlins like this? That's more of my question.
Well, the game that he was pulled was against the Blue Jays for the defensive. Oh, Marlins. I'm sorry. It was Marlins. That's right.
It was the Monday.
I was thinking I switched the 2.
It was the game 1, right?
Yeah, it's game 1 against the Marlins.
Switched the 2.
No, you're right, B. So here's the thing. That makes a little sense to me, and I'm thinking maybe Castellanos did something that rubbed him the wrong way earlier in that game. Now, I had to go over every play. Did he run something out? Did he not run something out? I don't know that, like, all of a sudden out of the blue, now he's using a defensive replacement, and he hasn't done it before. So why would he do that? Why would he pick that game to do it? Now, his answer was, well, Rojas is a better defensive player. We figure we would use him. Well, you didn't do that before.
Yeah, any game where you got Marsh instead of Rojas in, then why does that happen is my question.
Yeah, I agree. I would never put a paltry hitting player as a replacement for a good hitter, even if it's late in the game, because you never know what's going to happen. That spot comes up again. I never would do that.
Yeah, so in a way, I do support Castellanos because it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure it doesn't make sense to Castellanos. Now, I'm not saying you go and it had to have been something, way over the line that he's coming up.
I mean, listen, you could pretty much guess what could be over the line.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question in my mind. He said that's a BS move, Rob, and then he added something to it. Like, he called him, he MF'd him or something.
Well, Castellanos in general, you don't think he's got that DB streak a little bit?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, so
I'm not that big of a fan.
You set him off.
Yeah. All right, you ready for your general knowledge question, B?
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right.
It's the Flyers. You get to rub elbows with Martinez. And
there you go. You can rub elbows with Martinez. And
okay, did I get thrown out of the event, though? Yeah, but am I going to get thrown out of the event if I ask Saunders to give me a high-pitched goal call?
No, not get thrown out.
You might, but just go to Jimmy Jackson and go, Mike says, no call.
No call.
All right. Here we go. People with B initials.
No,
All right, so this person has to have B initials. The initials have to have a B in it, either first or last name. So if I say to you, second man on the moon, who am I looking for?
Buzz. Do I need the last name?
Yes,
Buzz
you do.
Is it Aldrich or something like that?
You're close enough.
So close.
Buzz Aldrin. All right, hang in there.
So
you
close.
got the answer
job.
correct, B. Hold on, we'll put you on hold here. B gets it. All right, Ray Bob. 18-year-old singer who won several Grammys in the year 2020.
18-year-old singer who won several Grammys in the year 2020.
First initial is B.
First initial is B. So that would mean that they are now 23.
No, they're older than that.
Well, they're 18 in 2020.
It's 2025.
Yeah, so 18
Okay.
plus
okay.
5 would be
23. You're right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking 25. I thought 25.
Yeah. Okay, so 23.
Uh-huh.
They were 18 in 2020.
Oh, you're asking for, are you going to use up another lifeline? Oh, I don't know if Amy knows
I don't think
this
Amy
one.
likes this one.
you
Yeah,
get the
I don't
time
know.
of
I don't know.
It's just their first initial is B.
First initial is B.
It's a single person.
Singer.
Yes,
a
a
singer.
single person.
I can't give you any more hints because I'll give it away.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I wasn't locked into the Grammys.
Ray gets the Ziggy.
Oh, wait, I think I know it.
You got it? Who is it?
Oh, it just dawned on me. I think it's Billie Eilish.
It is Billie
Wow.
Eilish.
Yeah, Billie Eilish not
I
coming
really
to
was
mind.
racking my brain
That
there
is
for a second.
correct. Billie Eilish is correct.
Okay. Sorry,
but the
Ray.
audience is ahead 2-1 with Ray.
Sorry, Ray. I could have helped you out. I really had to think about it.
610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Castellanos bench Tuesday night. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. After 236 consecutive starts, Nick Castellanos did not appear in the Phillies lineup on Tuesday night. Rob Thompson spoke to the media prior to the game, saying that Castellanos made an inappropriate comment following his removal from Monday's game, where Thompson lifted him for a defensive replacement.
One of the many things about Nick that I love is that he's very emotional. He loves to play, and he loves to play every inning of every game. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out, and so today he's not going to play.
We'll keep you updated if anything comes of that situation. The Phillies proceeded to lose the game 8-3 to the Marlins on Tuesday night. Jesus Luzardo allowed 4 earned runs in the 5 innings he pitched in his return to Miami. Each Phillies pitcher that appeared in the game allowed at least an earned run. Trey Turner hit a home run for the second consecutive game. Phillies and Marlins play again tonight, 6:40. Ranger Suarez against Adam Mazur on the mound matching up. Panthers won the Stanley Cup after a 5-1 win over the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6. 2 straight titles for the Florida Panthers, beating the Oilers in both Stanley Cup finals. This update is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. We all play a role in keeping roads safe. Watch for pedestrians. Give 4 feet when passing and slow down. Let's look out for each other. Safety is shared. Brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. If I could talk, that'd be great. I'm Ray Dunn here on the home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Seven to 5, The Fanatic. I was reading this story. This has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but sometimes I venture. I was reading a story where a guy came into court wearing a T-shirt that said, "World's Best Farter."
it's like a play on father, but it's not.
Father's Day gift.
Right, and he was a
I think that you start with the guy was wearing a T-shirt in court.
Well, see, this is the problem with society.
T-shirt in
Like,
court.
what makes people think that, like,
Oh, I'm going to court today. I know what to wear.
Can't you respect any
nice.
institutions? It's like I get this with people at church too. Like, if you go to church, and I don't, but if you do, I think you have to look a little respectable out of respect for the institution.
I feel like also if you're going to court and appearing before a judge, you would like them to shine down nicely on you, I would think.
Yeah, yes.
So you should try to present yourself in a nice way.
Right away, you tick off the judge.
I mean, I'd be looking at like the respect level is at 0, less than 0, because not only is it a T-shirt, but it's a mildly offensive T-shirt.
Exactly. But there's a lot of people out there who go, "What's wrong with that, Mike?
No,
Take it too seriously. You're a get off my lawn guy."
It's a
No, I'm not.
judge.
I'm going. It's just respect for institutions.
what was he? Do you know what he was in? to
I
see
don't
the
know.
judge?
It was some kind of.
Well, he was in to see the judge, and the judge was going to decide something, and I would have been like, "Come on, dude, nah."
He's presenting a case in court, and he comes in with the world's best Florida T-shirt, and the judge took like the first 10 minutes to scold him. So, what made you think that was an appropriate? You know what he
Attire.
did? You know what he did?
What did he do?
He crossed out Florida, and he put farther. He wrote in father, but
So
the T-shirt still. You can tell with the T-shirt.
Do you have a picture of it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to see this. Let me see. Hold on. Like what? So you took the time to get a marker
He put
because
it-
this is not like it's not the joke. The joke is the shirt is how it is. But he took the time to get a shirt, or maybe his lawyer's like, "Oh, let's try to make this better." He goes, "I got it. I got
He
it."
crossed it out with a Sharpie.
I got
and he
it.
wrote, "I mean
And
father."
yeah, I mean father. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Don't at that point you just put it on inside out and just hope for the best.
You're the lawyer. You're like, I'm getting paid win or lose, right?
No, a gentleman that decides to wear a T-shirt that has that on it is not paying his counsel.
The judge said, "What made you think that was a good shirt to wear to the court this morning?" And the guy says, "It was the only one he could find to wear."
Put it inside out.
That
That's
was
what-
the only shirt you had to wear in your closet, she said. No, she said, but I crossed it out and put father. She goes, "Yeah, I can read it. I can see what it says at the bottom, but it's not appropriate for a courtroom.
No.
You're in felony court. Felony.
Felony
much less.
court.
You need to dress appropriately for felony court, and that's not appropriate."
That's when you go to the Five Below and get the tuxedo T-shirt.
Well, there you
That's
go.
a more
That's
suitable
felony
thing
court.
to wear to court.
I wouldn't have heard the case. I would have said, "I'll tell you what, counselor, you and your client come back when it's more appropriate."
How does the
And-
lawyer
and
not
get back
decide
to-
to put it at least inside out, or the lawyer goes to somebody on anybody in the courtroom and said, "You're about his size. I'm gonna need that shirt for 20 minutes. I'm gonna need it."
At this point, he shows up in the world's
Yeah, I
best
guess it is what
farter.
it is.
You know, it's like I'll probably get another case soon.
Oh, he didn't have a lawyer. He claimed he had called 3 lawyers before appearing in court, but he hadn't heard back from any of them in time. So he went.
He
to
called
the,
them- he called
went
them
to
on
the
the
case
way.
anyway. He didn't have a lawyer.
He called them on the way to court.
She says, "If you have to call 20 lawyers to get that done, then call 20."
Where'd this happen?
It was it Florida?
Oh,
It might have been Florida.
That's a good
maybe.
guess.
Makes sense.
Might have been-
Florida man.
Might have been Jefferson, Texas.
No,
Oh.
okay.
Jefferson County,
enough.
Texas.
I was hoping it was like Pennsylvania, New Jersey.
No.
We could get Mike
But
to
this
go
is
counsel. We could get Bill to go counsel.
Exactly. I wouldn't have represented the guy.
Yeah, of course not. No,
I'm
after
out.
this.
I'm out. Bill would have represented the guy. if $10 was at stake, Bill would represent the guy. But in any event, I have this whole thing about church too. Like people in church dress like they're going to play tennis. You know, t-shirt, shorts, dirty sneakers. Like I don't get that either. Have respect.
Wait.
What? Wait, what?
Now,
All right,
I'm
all
not
right, go
coming to the
ahead.
defense of the people that don't dress up to
Uh-huh.
church because I always got the polo and whatever on when I do end up going. But for a guy that doesn't go to church, how many people are you seeing going to church like
Well,
this?
in the past, I've seen it. All right, I see him walking into church. I've been to a couple. Like if I go to Florida, my buddies they like to go to
Well,
Sunday
Florida
Mass.
church, let's be
Yeah,
honest, flip-flops are absolutely
I guess,
Accept
but
it.
I'm looking around. Metallica T-shirt, ripped.
Well, I appreciate that they're there.
Ripped shorts. Like,
I would appreciate it more if they were.
is it that
I
hard?
think if you're just going to go, like.
I don't know. Is it that hard?
Yeah, I've seen people in church in Florida, and there are like churches that'll say like flip flops and beach attires. A-okay.
Yeah, I guess in Florida.
Florida's a little bit different, but I hear you.
But up here,
Just put some shoes
put
on.
a collared shirt on. It's a collar. Whatever.
Or at least a clean
put a
T-shirt
polo
with no
shirt
like,
on with
yeah,
a collar.
with no
and
like.
you want to wear shorts. I say no shorts in church, but I know a lot of people wear shorts and sneakers these days. I would go no short policy in church.
Well, no, I can't. I can't get behind
You can't get
that.
behind
There's
that.
some nice shorts.
Yeah.
There's some. If you have nice shorts and a pressed polo, I think you probably look nice. You're
Yeah, I'm
rolling,
cool
you're
with the
rocking to
shorts.
church. You're rocking to church with that.
I only get dressed at church. I'll get dressed for the family.
You get,
I
Well,
don't
that's
want my
because-
grandmother.
yes.
I don't want my
there
mother
you go.
being
You
Right.
upset.
get- there you go, because you have respect.
Well, I did get the text from my mom during this conversation. God doesn't care what you wear as long as you're there.
See, now
I-
there is that. As long as you're there, which is very
See,
nice.
I disagree.
It's a nice
I
sentiment.
disagree. I think God would be like a judge in a courtroom. Appropriate attire for me. I'm
Is that
God.
how
I'm
you
God.
envision
That is not-
the whole heaven
I'm-
thing
I'm-
happening?
sure that's
I'm God.
not how it goes.
My God would strike you down.
If you had shorts on,
In the Old Testament, where you think God would be permissive of a Metallica T-shirt?
maybe he likes it, Metallica.
God
a
was
more understanding
God
God.
was an angry God in the Old Testament, Ray.
We're talking New Testament God, and he's
Yeah.
like, come on, bring them all.
Strike you down with great vengeance and furious anger.
Well, now it sounds like we're in Pulp Fiction.
I envision my baby Jesus in a tuxedo T-shirt.
Yeah, because it says he likes to party.
Plague of locusts, the whole bit.
There's a movie
When
reference I
God
get.
got tweaked, God didn't like it.
We're more New Testament guy.
I'm a more New Testament guy, but the Old Testament was kind of, let's face it, pretty harsh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of some stonings. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, stonings.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Bill in Glen Olden. Bill, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Bill?
Hey, how are you?
What's going on, Billy?
I'm sure I'm not the only one that had this premonition, but when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I was like, I felt the Phillies winning the World Series, and so I definitely believe they're going. But I believe this team has all the ingredients to win a World Series.
Wait, hold on. Wait, right now they do?
I believe stirring the pot. I think everything that's going on, all these instances, all the worries about the bullpen, we got people waiting to come in like Painter. I think that we're that big spoon is stirring the pot, and everyone, all this drama that's going on with the team, all the worry. We're going to be cheering them.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on.
Down Broad Street.
Let me just stop you, Bill. Are you saying that right now, in their current form, they're good enough to win a World Series, or are you saying they have to stir the pot to get other people in here?
I can't wait for Painter to come in.
Who?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Painter.
Painter.
I think the pitching. So I like the guys they have. I think if you punch each other in the mouth a little bit, I think sometimes you make yourself better. When Harper comes back, I like this team. I don't think they need a bat. I want.
I'm just trying to pin you down, Bill. So in your mind, the bullpen, as it's currently configured, is good enough to win a World Series.
I think they need to change. Something has to change.
Okay, well, see, that's what I was.
there you go.
That's what I wanted
That's
to
all
get
right.
to.
You can have that.
You're saying you have faith in them winning the series, but you have faith only if they add somebody.
Well, we're halfway in the season, but yeah, I see it happening. I believe I see. I don't know what they're going to do, but I definitely feel it. I got a strong feeling.
All right, that's fair. I just wanted to pin you down a little bit. That's all. All right? All right, let me give you a general knowledge question. We're back in the general knowledge category. What is both a golf term and slang for an enemy plane? Golf term and slang for an enemy plane.
A birdie?
A birdie would be incorrect. Sorry about that, Bill. I think I might want to give the same question to Ray. Ray. What is both a golf term and slang for an enemy plane?
Do you have to give the same question to me?
Ray, you must think hard. This comes from a movie.
Oh.
A very popular movie.
Oh, I know.
You do?
I'm aware of the movie it comes from. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the term correct.
What's the movie it comes from?
I'm assuming Top Gun brought it up.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, then, if you know Top Gun, what is both a golf term and slang for an enemy plane should be no problem for you.
You got it. I believe in you.
I don't believe in me. Amy, tie this thing up, please.
He's looking around. He's looking
All right,
around in his
I think the
plane.
answer is a MiG.
MiG?
Mm-hmm.
It's incorrect.
What is it?
Bogey.
Oh, I thought he called them MiGs.
A bogey.
I got a bogey
It's
on my tail.
A golf term. What's a golf term? What MiG?
I
is
didn't know.
golf
I thought
term?
it was like something
It's
like
gotta
an
be
MIG, something about greens and regulation or something.
Well, both
GIR.
a golf term and slang for an enemy plane.
I did.
Bogey.
I let you down, Ray.
It's okay.
Uh-oh. Is there one lifeline left?
One left.
And Ray, you're down
Wait,
in the audience.
he didn't
2 to
go to
1.
me for Billie Eilish.
Oh, he didn't go to you?
No, he didn't go to me
so
for Billie
you got
Eilish.
2
He's
left?
got 2.
Oh, you got 2 left.
You got 2.
Sure. Yeah. I'll take 2.
610-632-0975 is how you pop into the show. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Ricky Bo, Bill Colorado.
2, Mike Missanelli Show. I wonder if anybody's given any thought to my suggestion that if Luzardo does not maintain as a starter, that he could be the left-handed they use in late innings come playoff time. Does that make any sense to people, or is it catching people off guard? Ray, does it make any sense to you?
I could see it being a world they go down.
Yeah.
Come postseason time. I mean, if you talk about the profile of a reliever of the lefties, he and Sanchez profile more as the late inning left-hander than what we get from Ranger Suarez. I think we all just go down the Suarez path because he's got the bullpen experience. Mm-hmm. But stuff-wise, those two guys would make more sense in shorter bursts.
All right, so the starters, Wheeler, Ranger, Nola, Sanchez. You're 4 in the back end of the bullpen. Luzardo, Strom, Kerkering, Romano. Good enough?
I'm switching Sanchez and Suarez right now in terms of start rotation.
Yeah, but Sanchez, you would have to have
I'm still
Sanchez.
adding a reliever.
I'm putting it in that order because Sanchez would then have to start on the road in New York.
Are you using any of the young guys? Painter, who was very popular with our previous caller.
No.
Or Abel?
I am not using either of them.
Nah, Abel's in Baltimore.
That's right, I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, so then we're using Bautista.
This is no trade. If there is no trade, could Luzardo be that left-hander along with Strom that they bring out of the pen to get lefties out? And the reason I have it stacked is that because we're talking about the Mets series when you need 4 starters. So Wheeler, Ranger would start at Citi Field.
And then generally, just so I know this for future, do you enjoy for the entire run a 4-man rotation, or
Yes.
do you? Okay.
Yes.
So you would never expand it to 5.
No.
Okay. Good to know.
Wheeler, Ranger, Nola, Sanchez. That's the order I would go with. More comfortable pitching Nola and Sanchez at home.
That I agree with. I am more comfortable pitching Aaron Nola. And this is obviously providing that Aaron Nola comes back from his injury and is A-OK. Not to use Bryson Stott.
I want people to think down the road in this show, we're going to come back to this, but I was reading this story where they're doing this Mount Rushmore thing in New York for New York Knicks. So if you did New York Knicks, Mount Rushmore, you would go Ewing, Bernard King, Willis Reed, Walt Frazier. That sound right?
That sounds right.
So I want
There's some people that might put Carmelo Anthony on there.
Carmelo? Maybe. I think Carmelo would get like the 5th slot.
Yeah, he would be. There's some people that could
Rushmore.
probably make the argument.
But if you think about a Mount Rushmore for all 4 Philadelphia teams, just think about that. Food for thought, and we'll come back to it a little later. Let's go back to the phones. We've got Tom in Collegeville checking in. Tom, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, guys. Love the show. Listen every day.
Thanks,
Amy,
buddy.
You do a fantastic job whenever you're in studio.
Thank you.
So I'm thinking about listening to the Castellanos talk, and there's something that I thought about that nobody has mentioned. So, like, over the weekend, I can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday, he misplayed a ball in right field where it was a foul ball, but he got to it, and then it bounced behind him, right foul. And then, of course, the next play they scored on. Do you think do you remember the play? And B, do you think maybe that was the last straw for Thompson?
Possible. It's possible. Now that I think about it, because I hadn't thought about that until you brought it up, but you're right. That did happen.
On Saturday?
Yeah. And it is possible he filed that away and said, I'm safer if I go with Rojas in the 8th inning. Possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because he hadn't done it until that, until he did it this last time, he hadn't done it ever.
No, and you know what? When you watch him track balls, he looks like he's, awkward and.
I didn't think he was that bad, but Ray pointed out that he is. I really didn't think he was that bad because he's made some catches that I didn't think he'd ever get to.
Yeah, he makes a lot of diving plays, which you always expect him not to get to, and maybe that's why. But no, for the most part, overall, since he's been here, he's been, better than average, serviceable. I mean, other guys, you always take notice, like when Schwarber was in left and whatnot. I mean, Castellanos, for the most part, he's been okay.
Yeah, his arm has been okay, too, from right field.
Right. Maybe that play over the weekend, maybe that was the last straw. That's the only thing I could think of while I listened to your
conversation. It is very possible. It is very possible. It's a good call by you, bro.
Keep up the good work, guys.
All right, man, hold a second. No General Knowledge Wednesday for you?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, Tommy. He's good.
I'm good.
All right, Ray. Since he reneged, it's up to you.
Oh, okay.
This is the Leonardo DiCaprio movies. Was Leo in the movie Gangs of New York? Yes or no?
Oh.
Yes.
Amy. Amy, you're killing me.
I didn't say anything. I said, come on. He's just standing there. I'm literally sitting here.
You're itching to say yes. Yes.
I didn't say
Ray,
a word.
Yes, you
I
are
said,
correct,
come on.
Ray.
You said you knew like trailers. Like he's literally in every trailer.
What's amazing to me is
I
that
was
Ray
joking about the
has
trailer thing.
no idea. None. Gangs of New York was like an immensely popular movie, right? That he got all kinds of acclaim for. And Daniel Day-Lewis did as well. And you know nothing about it.
Correct. I know Leonardo DiCaprio from a few things.
Titanic. Check.
And namely dating women my age.
That's correct.
Yeah.
He does have a certain.
But that was a colossal movie. It was like a monster movie.
It was in 2002.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I knew he was in it.
You never saw Gangs of New York? Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it did look like a really good movie, and I wish I had at the time. But now I feel like
It's crazy good.
Yeah. Daniel
Great
Day-Lewis,
score,
but yeah,
72% on
Yeah.
Rotten
he was
Tomatoes.
nominated
very
for a
good.
bunch of stuff. Yeah.
All right.
I never actually saw it.
610-632-0975. We got a couple calls on hold. I like this general knowledge game. So the audience is owed a Leonardo DiCaprio question where they could go ahead. But right now we are tied 2-2 with Ray Dunn. Mike Missanelli Show continues right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Castellanos bench Tuesday night. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. After 236 consecutive starts, Nick Castellanos did not appear in the Phillies lineup on Tuesday night. Rob Thompson spoke to the media prior to the game, saying that Castellanos made an inappropriate comment following his removal from Monday's game, where Thompson lifted him for a defensive replacement.
One of the many things about Nick that I love is that he's very emotional. He loves to play, and he loves to play every inning of every game. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out, and so today he's not going to play.
Phillies proceed to lose the game 8-3 to the Marlins on Tuesday night. Jesus Luzardo allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings in his return to Miami. Each Phillies pitcher that appeared in the game allowed an earned run at least. Trey Turner hit a home run for the second consecutive game last night. The Phillies-Marlins play again tonight at 6:40 with Ranger Suarez and Adam Mazur matching up on the mound. Panthers won the Stanley Cup after a 5-1 win over the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6. 2 straight titles for the Florida Panthers, beating the Oilers both times. This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like the 2025 E-Class, CLE Coupe, C-Class, and EQE sedan. Hurry it now through July 31st. Learn more at MBUSA.com/dream. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the NBA Finals. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Join 97.5.
On the Castellanos thing. So he gets taken out of a game for defensive replacement with Rojas. Yeah, ticked me off too. And then he comes in and he apparently says something to his manager by, I would suggest it. He said, "That's BS, you bleep here." And Rob just took it and then decided that, okay, that's worthy of a punishment. So you're not going to play the next game here in Miami where your friends and family are watching you.
Got to act better.
Was Liam there? How come we didn't get a Liam shot?
Oh, because Casty wasn't in the game.
Well, did Liam come to the game?
Just because his dad's not playing? I don't know. That's a great
Played
question.
the first game, right?
I would maybe maybe school's still in session and he just couldn't go. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Where was Liam, Ray? You got any Liam takes?
I have no takes. Certainly no Liam takes. I don't know where he was.
All right. You have a take on Liam?
I know your take on Liam.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm Liam'd out.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm Liam'd out.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't. And I've had enough.
You've had enough.
Yes,
You've had enough.
yes, I've had enough of the Liam storyline. It's all. He just had another baby, didn't he?
Yes, they did.
All right, so
Congratulations.
All right. Okay, so let's get back to the text board, Ray. What do we have?
We have someone saying that we need to calm down about the defensive replacements. Kyle Schwarber, when he played left field, would be pulled for defensive purposes. Let's not act like this is something bigger, and he is more important than Castellanos offensively. Castellanos needs to grow up.
Okay. But again, you're taking a really good hitter out of your lineup, and I would never do that. That's the reason why I wouldn't do a defensive replacement. Doesn't make any sense to me, especially in right field. Left field, maybe. I don't know. Right field, not as much. He's adequate enough in right field where I don't have to worry about. Like, he's not as stiff in right field.
He's not a stiff in right field, no.
No, and I can't risk Rojas coming up in a big spot. He's got an important spot in the order. You're taking out a guy and putting in a non-hitter in that spot of the order. So if it comes up again, you got nothing. That's my problem with it. Now, if it was an 8-hitter, 9-hitter, whatever, that's a little different. Castellanos he's hitting cleanup now, isn't he?
Without Harper, yeah.
Yeah, without Harper.
You're taking out your cleanup hitter.
Well, that's how bad it was. That's how bad the disrespect was.
Was it?
Clearly.
All right. I don't know.
I'm curious, did we never cycle back to the texter's question about Eric Bruntlett?
Yeah, did you verify that he played left field?
Yes, it was something that he did down the stretch in September in 08, and then throughout the postseason. He played almost 26 innings, I think, in left field.
Tell me they didn't have an outfielder? They didn't have a defensive outfielder that could have played there?
They did. His name was Eric Bruntlett. It's interesting because I was reading that on.
That's the best they had?
He had never really played the outfield. He had to work on it because he's obviously a middle infielder.
Yes.
Yeah. So
well,
that was the best they had.
Who were their backup outfielders that
Won
time?
the World
Jeff
Series.
Jenkins.
Jeff Jenkins wasn't a great.
No.
And I'm trying to think who else was on that team that would have been Matt Stairs.
No.
Matt Stairs.
Yeah, he's not playing the outfield.
That was the best they
Greg
had.
Dobbs.
No.
Because that's their bench, right? I mean, the four of them. And then Chris Coast. That's their 5. Yeah,
I thought
their 5
Dobbs would have had a little more outfield experience than Bruntlett did. But maybe not.
They got the final out of the World Series with Eric Bruntlett standing in left field.
That's
How
right.
about that? That's a good call by you, Ray. I didn't remember him doing anything but pinch running and scoring that big run, that winning run.
Yeah, and they didn't have any other option to go out to left field, so
All
that's
right.
him.
It's the Mike Missanelli Show. You're listening to it right here at 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. And we're broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, it is noontime. We have a bunch of callers on hold. You guys, Jamie, Nick, hang in there. We will get to you. But right now, it is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The news at noon starts with some NBA Finals action. Ray, what do you got?
Yeah, I was interested to get your guys' perspective on some criticism of the media following that game. Obviously, Halliburton's injury, a big storyline in that game, scoring just 4 points. Pacers lose the game. He tried to play through it. He did not look like Tyrese Halliburton. And some people claiming that a player just can't win in this scenario. If they continue to play, they'll get blamed for continuing to play. If they don't play, they'll get attacked for the fact that they did not play. Of course, two of the people that were criticized the most for their take on Tyrese Halliburton were the halftime show on ESPN, Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith. Take a listen to what they had to say, and we can get a little bit of the reaction to what they had to say.
Well, sit them down. Maybe they will. Maybe they should. Well, sit them down because I don't want to hear the excuses. If you're on the floor, you need to produce. This is the NBA Finals. This is Game 5. And to be honest, before he went down with the calf injury, he was still looking bad. He looked scared to death.
That's a big word. I don't know about
I'm
scared.
telling you how I feel. He looked scared. He was going east to west instead of north to south.
Hey, listen, bottom line is this. Halliburton has looked awful, and I'm glad he's injured. I'm not saying I'm glad he's injured, but I'm glad we got that as a rationale. But 15-1 off turnovers. OKC's outscoring them 12-0 on fast break points. This is a collective beatdown that we're about to witness.
Oh. Should he have come out of the game?
So the question is, can an athlete win in the world of narratives here? If he comes out of the game, he's not tough enough to play through it.
Can't.
If he plays through it,
can't win.
Can't win.
You can't win. That has to be purely
Also,
on the coach.
Saying he's scared. Come on.
Yeah, well, Perkins.
Stop.
Perkins always has those kind of
It's
takes.
just clownish
But
takes,
Rick Carlisle is the guy that had to take control of that situation and say, listen, I'm not going to let you hurt yourself. Plus, you're hurting us by not being at full strength. So I got to go with my man here, TJ.
But if he comes out of that game, is he opening himself up to the next day?
Yeah, he is. That's why the coach has to take him off the hook. He should be willing. I'm going to gut it out for my team. But then the coach goes, no. We're seeing something we don't like here. You're hurt, and for your protection and for the benefit of the team, I'm sorry, but we can't go with you. That's what Rick Carlisle should have done. That's totally on him.
So then it's on Carlisle the next day to take the heat for he didn't play. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you can't let your play because you're right. He's in a no-win situation. How can Halliburton justify that whole thing if he takes himself out or if he plays? Like he can't.
It's not his call.
It's not his call. He wants to play.
Yeah, so the coach needs to step in. You're not up to 100%. You're hurting us out there.
He knows he's going to get criticized as being soft if he asks out of the game. Can't have that.
Sounds good. Moving on to number 2 here. Deshaun Jackson was on with Chris Long in his podcast, Green Light. It's an older clip, about a week old at this point, but Jackson gets into the world of college football right now, and Mike Vick also being at Norfolk State. Entertain and listen to this guy talk as a college coach.
Man, I think it's tough right now. I think college football, it's really like the NFL. I feel like it's like free agency. I mean, it's like paying guys now, so I think they're going to have to figure out the cap somehow, some way, because, I mean, you got the Alabamas, the Oregons, these big-time schools with, like, smaller schools that can't compete with the budgets and how much they're paying these guys NIL money, so, I mean, it's survival of the fittest, bro. I mean, I had a young guy come in my office like, Coach, I'm going to be real trying to waste your time. I'm going to the highest bidder. I'm like, damn. Like, I might not be able to be the highest bidder. I mean, my name hold weight, but finances-wise, I mean, I'm at HBCU, so we don't really have the resource some of these big schools have. So, and that's just the nature of the game.
Is it cool to see Mike and those guys down at Norfolk State?
Yeah, we played them November 1st, and hopefully it's at the link. We supposed to play here at the link too. So I think Vic will do a good job as well too, man. You know, that's the big homie. So we gonna play each other. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be surreal to see each other going with headsets on and coaching like that. It's crazy, bro.
You know, you could give me 100 ex-Eagle players, and I would never pick Deshaun Jackson as a head college football coach. It's
definitely surprising.
It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely surprising.
A renegade like Deshaun Jackson?
I appreciate a guy that didn't seem to enjoy practice or any of that other stuff.
No. That's amazing to me.
I like it.
Right, the highest bid. Well, they did put a cap on it. The settlement put the cap on it. So, yeah. But the HB...
all small
those small schools aren't going to get any.
It's always been that way, though.
Yeah.
It is crazy to me that you took the words right out of my mouth. To listen to him talk as a coach. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like for me to watch him for the first time on a sideline, like running a program. I can't imagine him running practice.
I can't imagine the discipline he would impart.
Guy skips practice.
Yeah, I can't see.
Do what I say, not what I do.
In a lot of ways, he was the AI of football.
Also, if I am free the night the two of them are at the link.
Yeah, it's in November 1st.
I will be there.
Are you going to be there?
I would love to go to that game.
It'd be a great game.
I'm going to take Mike Vick
Yeah.
to cover in that game.
I don't know where Mike Vick's rebuilding from, but I know Delaware State's had some tough go, so I'll be interested to see who would be the favorite team in that game.
Yeah, I'm thinking Vick's squad would be the favorite team.
All right, last one for you here, and it's from your favorite podcast. Podcast P.
Oh, Podcast DNP.
Yeah, Nicotino Mobley on, and he talked about going over to see Yao Ming during the offseason and the struggles of watching Yao Ming inside of a regular car trying to drive him around.
I would hang with Yao for a few days in Shanghai. He comes and gets me in a Range Rover. The sport knees. I'm like, you got $1 billion and you can't get a custom, both his knees up by his ears. And all I'm thinking about is the crash. I'm nervous as in that car. I swear for goodness, dog.
They couldn't get them seats pushed back.
They got Uber here.
Uber ain't gonna work.
You want me to drive? I can drive. You can lay in the back.
So the fact that it was a Range Rover and not a Land Rover, is that what the point is there?
No.
Point is, the fact
Range
is...
Rover's,
Smaller one. Range Rover, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Range Rover's the bigger one?
I think so. But it was not custom. It's
I
Yao
gotta
Ming.
check on that. The Range Rover, I knew somebody with a Range Rover, seemed to be smaller than the Land Rover.
Well,
But
is it just the company's just called Land Rover?
Yeah, but there is a Land Rover, and a Range Rover maybe is the smaller one.
I've never heard of a Land Rover.
Yeah, there is a Land.
It's a Land Rover, like a Discovery, a Land Rover,
I think
Range
a Land
Rover.
Rover is a bigger one, and the Range Rover is a smaller one. But that's what I got at. But we'll have to check on that anyway.
The point is imagining Yao Ming with his
Stuffing
knees
himself in a car.
at his ears trying to drive you around.
Yeah,
He really just needs a Sprinter van.
What car could accommodate him?
Whatever car like Shaq
seriously.
drove.
What? Like
a Maybach?
Maybe. I guess. I don't know. All right, hold on a second. Land Rover. All right, is that it for today, Ray?
Yep.
Okay. Land Rover Defender.
See, that's Land Rover is the name of the company.
Yeah.
So I don't know what car. The Discovery is the smallest.
Oh, Discovery is the smallest?
Yes.
What's Defender?
That's like a bigger one.
That's the bigger one?
That's brand new, though.
So he should have. Oh, okay. So he wouldn't.
He wouldn't have been. That's new. That's a new one.
Yeah, I saw some. I had a friend of mine that had
There's
a Range
different
Rover.
size of Range
and it was
Rovers.
a little smaller.
It might have been the Evoque or the.
Look at you.
I used.
You had the Range Rover on the main line.
I used to
Range
have
Rover. Oh, you did?
A Discovery, a very, very small one.
Oh, look at you.
I don't anymore. Now I have like a Volkswagen.
Land Rover on the main line. Amy Fadol, customer.
I bought it in Jersey.
610-632-0975. It is General Knowledge Wednesday. Jamie and Nick are up next. Hang in there. We'll got you after this.
Ricky Bowe.
Atlantic City, so you can make a night of it. Our winner gets a Flyers fan merch pack to pick up at the party. Tickets for the Flyers NHL draft party and Fanatic Live broadcast are $6 a person. Proceeds will benefit Flyers charities. The broadcast features stars. John, I hate Topper Kincade, Timmy Saunders, Jim Jackson, and Jason Martinez, our old pal Jason, as well as multiple guests. Throughout the night, special appearances at the party include Flyers Governor Dan Hilferty, Flyers head coach Rick Tocchet, Flyers alumni Mark Recchi, and Todd Fedoruk, and much more. The 12 o'clock hour of the program is brought to us by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates, and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right, let's go back to the phones because folks have been hanging here. Let's start out with Jamie in D.C. Jamie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's everybody doing today? All
Good,
right?
man. How you doing?
Is the sun out up there in the Philly?
I don't think so.
Trying to, not yet.
It's burning bright down here in D.C.
Oh, good. That means we're going to get it tomorrow.
Hey, I wanted to mention I really like the move that Topper makes. No one's bigger than the team. If he thought that and kept his mouth shut, that's one thing. But now that he said it, he's got to regret it. Maybe he might not because it's a lot about Nick Castellanos, if we be truthful. But for Topper, he's got to make the move. And Rojas is our best defensive replacement no matter where he plays in the outfield. He covers good ground. And he was saying that right-handed batters coming up, a lot hard throwers, and you didn't want to see a bloop go over the second baseman's head where Nick may not have covered the ground. And surely his arm, he's not that great either.
His arm's not bad. He hasn't really hurt them with his arm. I don't know. You're interesting because it doesn't seem like Nick Castellanos is very popular with you. How popular is he in general, you think?
Do you mean with me or with the team?
Well, you with you, obviously not. What do you think fans, do you think most fans feel like you? That they're kind of ambivalent about him?
Well, no, I think that he produces, and he's producing the playoffs. You know, he has some monster home runs, but every time he's at bat, I win. My son and I have a bet, and I bet him he's going to swing at the first pitch. I mean, he's kind of a lot about Nick, in case we don't realize that. But Topper praised him and said that he wants to play every day, and you want a guy like that. We were just talking about that with the NBA. No one wants to take themselves out.
Yeah.
But,
I got you.
I would say in terms of popularity, everyone likes his son Liam, right? He's a big storyline, and he just had a baby.
I'm Liam'd out.
I know. I'm messing with you, Mike.
I know. I had enough of the Liam storyline. But you raised a really interesting topic for me about how popular Nick Castellanos is. Is he more popular or less popular with the fan base? What do you think, Bray?
Well,
how do people feel about it? Are they ambivalent about him? Do they like him?
He's at the level of player where...
Is he flatline? Like, what is he?
Yeah, I think people would be more pro-player if it wasn't Castellanos. I think he falls in the group of players on this team where, in this scenario, Thompson might get more support because Castellanos does drive a lot of this fan base nuts.
That's really interesting. All right, Jamie, you want a general knowledge question?
Sure.
Right.
Hey, can I say something? Last time I was on, you asked me, you said, what does CC stand for? It was cubic centimeters. And I said milliliters, ML, and you're like, centimeters? What, centimeters? So maybe it was just the way I talked or something. But I was in school because I'm a fireman, and we had to study that stuff, that milliliters and centimeters. So we referred to cubic centimeters as milliliters. But you're absolutely right.
All right. Here is your question. Initials that have a B in it, either first name or last name B. So let's go with Italian dictator.
Italian dictator.
Italian dictator.
Mussolini?
What's his first name?
Mussolini. I'm going to say Dimitri.
It has to be a B.
It has to be a B.
Give me a B.
Yeah.
Give me a B.
Oh, a B for boy. All right, Amy.
I'm here to help you.
Buccelli Mussolini.
Oh, no. We can't give it to you. You got Mussolini right, but we can't give it to you, bro.
So close.
I'm so sorry, guys. Hey,
That's
thanks
all right.
for taking the call. I hope you have a great
Good
weekend.
stuff. Enjoy the sun down there in D.C.
You got it.
Go Phil.
You got
Go
it,
Phils.
Jamie. Benito Mussolini. All right, Ray. This should be easy for you, Ray. Mr. Tambourine Man. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man.
That was a good. That's a very good clue. That's a very good clue. The intonation with which Mike did the song is very important.
It's like Jim Jackson singing it.
Yeah, it's a little bit more nasally. The singer was. The singer.
Yeah, I picked up on the singer thing.
Come on.
Mr. Tambourine Man.
Yeah, I can't go to her because she obviously knows it, and she's made it very clear she knows who it is, right? So,
so you can't go
Yeah,
to her.
all right,
She's
then.
disqualified
I got
herself.
How do you not know this? It's Bob Dylan.
It's Bobby Dylan.
Bob Dylan never.
That's a great
Ray's got all the Bob
impersonation.
Dylan albums.
Yeah,
I don't own a single Bob Dylan album, but that's a great impersonation.
I'm sure it is. I got nothing on that one.
All right.
I thought for sure you got that one.
We're still at 2-2. Still at 2-2. Nick Brockcliffe is on next. Nick, we're gonna wait. We're gonna give you the whole thing. We got up against a break, but Nick has a chance now to put the audience ahead on General Knowledge Wednesday. It is the Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Castellanos bench Tuesday night. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. After 236 consecutive starts, Nick Castellanos did not appear in the Phillies lineup on Tuesday night. Rob Thompson spoke to the media prior to the game, saying that Castellanos made an inappropriate comment following his replacement in Monday's game for Johan Rojas coming into the game in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's what Thompson had to say.
One of the many things about Nick that I love is that he's very emotional. He loves to play, and he loves to play every inning of every game. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out, and so today he's not going to play.
We'll let you know if anything comes out of that situation more today from Miami as the Phillies looking to play another game tonight at 6:40 against the Marlins. They did lose last night's game 8-3. Jesus Lazar allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings in his return to Miami. Every Phillies pitcher that appeared in the game allowed at least an earned run. Trey Turner did hit a home run for a second consecutive night, but the Phillies look to bounce back with Ranger Suarez on the mound against Adam Mazur tonight. And the Panthers won the Stanley Cup after a 5-1 win over the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6. 2 straight titles for the Florida Panthers, beating the Oilers in both finals. This update is brought to you by Compassion International. Imagine a child in extreme poverty waiting over a year to be sponsored. End their wait today. Become a Compassion sponsor. Text radio to 83393. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the NBA Finals. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Show 97.5 The Fanatic today. Amy Siddle sitting in with me. Ray Dunn is here. I'm going to tap Ray for our next thing, because now it's tweaked me about how popular Nick Castellanos is with the fan base. If you made a list in your head about the most liked, least liked, or the flat line, Ray, who would be your most liked Phillies? And it doesn't have to be, like, you don't have to have a long list. Maybe if you only like one, the list is one. I don't know. Who do you really like on this team?
Personally?
Who's the most liked for you?
Schwarber.
You like Schwarby? Okay.
Do.
All right.
I'm
I
a
like him too.
Big Ranger fan.
Ranger Suarez? Okay.
Yeah. Pretty big fan of Wheeler.
All right, Wheeler.
Let's see. I'm trying to go across the diamond here. I loved Trey Turner, the Major League Baseball player. He drove me nuts when he got here.
Okay.
But it's hard to not like him right now.
All right, you like Trey. Okay.
Bryce.
Bryce you like?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so that's a pretty extensive list. That's 5 really
most
liked.
Yeah, I genuinely want to see these guys succeed. Some of these guys drive me nuts.
I'll make one list, the least liked or the flat line, so I don't get you into trouble.
Least liked? Well, yeah.
You have a least liked? Because I have a least liked.
Yeah, well, I could guess.
I have a least liked.
Guess a few
I have no problem
here.
with a least liked list of me, but I'll commingle it for you. Least liked or flat line, they just don't do anything for you.
Castellanos.
Cassie doesn't do anything for you.
No.
You know, and that's why I put this out there. Would he be on that list for most people, Amy?
Yeah, the flatline list or the least liked list?
Both, if you squeeze them all together. Ray put him on the least liked list.
I think the flatline list is something that I think people are like, because I think people do enjoy parts of him, but I think also there are enough people that think maybe they see kind of like a surliness at times in interviews, but I can't really take that much away from that.
All right, I have a least liked list.
Who's on your least?
It has nothing to do personally because I don't know them personally, but the vibe they get makes them on my least liked list, and they might be nice guys. Castellanos is definitely on that. Rojas is definitely on it. Marsh is definitely on.
Just baseball.
Yeah.
Right.
Banks. Tanner Banks is on it. Now, Tanner Banks has done nothing to me. I just don't like him.
You make that face when he comes in the game.
Yeah, it's like oh no, not a.
You shake your head.
Not a nibbler coming in with that loopy curveball and nonsense. And so I put JT on the flat line list. He's obviously an admirable player for what he does, but I neither like or dislike him. Bohm. I like him. I put him on my liked list, and not a lot of people like him because of his tantrums. But I kind of like him. I think he's made himself into a really good third baseman, and I admire that. Stott. Used to like him. Now he's a flatliner for me.
Going down, and stock's going down.
Kepler, flat line, total flatliner. Right?
Just like
he's a total
dude.
He's a total flatliner. Now I like Christopher Sanchez a lot. I like Wheeler a lot, obviously. Ranger bugs me. I don't know why.
Really?
Yes, Ranger bugs me. Too nonchalant for me.
Too nonchalant.
Yeah, he's too nonchalant. He bugs me a little bit.
Yeah, I love him for that.
Yeah, his.
But the point was with Castellanos, how popular is Castellanos? Now, a more popular player may have gotten more support today, right? So this is an indication to me that maybe people are kind of lukewarm about him.
Oh yeah, if it was someone else, I think there would be more support for him.
Also, I think there's not probably a surprise element because if it was a player you really liked, you probably would genuinely surprised that they would pop off against their manager. Like if Kyle Schwarber came in, who's generally a very well-liked player, right? If he came in and Topper had said, we're benching Schwarber, he's not our DH tonight because of something he said, everybody would be like, oh my God, what did he say?
Exactly.
Because it would be so surprising.
They would be surprising, and more of them would be on Schwarber's side.
They'd be like, well, it couldn't have been that bad. It's Kyle Schwarber.
Exactly.
But I think they're like, it's Nick Castellanos.
The Castellanos thing,
who knows?
There are little things that bug me about players, and like I'm not saying that like I'm an idiot for thinking this way, but like I'll never forgive Rojas for looking at the pad of his great catch 100 times. Like, those are little things that bug me. For Castellanos, the button bugs me.
The lack thereof.
Yeah. But like why?
Buttons. He doesn't like buttons.
And the way he runs bugs me. Like with the I don't know.
Now I gotta look and see how he runs. I don't know.
You know how he runs.
He's
got a weird gait with the arms up. And, Schwarber runs like Babe Ruth. That doesn't bug me. The way Castellanos runs bugs me.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if it was faster, I wouldn't be bothered by it.
And you just talk about when he's like jogging in, or like when he's running the bases.
Both. He has this like his arms go like way up into his armpits.
He kind of looks like he's trying to get himself up a mountain as fast as he possibly can.
Right.
I really have to do a deeper dive into this.
It's like a very
the little things like Tanner Banks, an innocuous guy, but he bugs the crap out of me when they bring him into the game. I don't know, the way he pitches just rubs me the wrong way. I hate those nibblers. Am I weird, Ray?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you needed me to answer that question for you.
That was just affirming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also
answer.
a weirdo, but we're different kinds of weirdo. This one, I think.
Yeah.
My issue when you say like and don't like, I don't like to say that I don't like. Kepler's a perfect example. I don't dislike Kepler,
him, but they bug you in a way.
I dislike what Kepler represents, and he represents the off-season signing of a guy that I didn't think like to me. It's
that's not Kepler. That's just
nothing personal to
the
you,
idea
Kepler.
of
You
him.
are just the representation of what really bothers me.
Yeah.
And I think that might be Banks for you. Like, might not dislike Tanner Banks, but you dislike the representation of a pitcher that just nibbles at the plate.
Exactly. Like, he has no personality. I don't know his personality. His personality hasn't come out in any form for me to like or dislike.
He's only in there for
but there's something when they bring him in, I go, oh, man.
I also have another one that you dislike.
What's that?
Dub.
Oh, Weston Wilson?
Yeah, Weston Wilson. I don't dislike him because he's I dislike him because he's not a major league player. And it's a waste of time for me. I think they could.
That's why you have Rojas on your list?
Yeah, well, Rojas as well, but also that thing he did with the iPad. You probably don't even remember that. He made a great catch. He goes in the dugout and he's looking at it on the iPad, like admiring it like for an hour. And I'm going, come on, dude. Major league players don't do that. That's all. All right, let's get back to the phones. We got Nick and Briarcliff checking in. Nick, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Nick.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Good afternoon, Nicky. How you doing?
Good. Real quick, Mike, I think you might owe the audience a Leo question.
I do? I owe the audience
I think, the one guy opted out of it. You said.
Oh, that's right. You're right. All right. I'm going to give you two then.
Two chances.
All right, cool. Now, I always like Topper. However, I'm beginning to have my doubts. Now, one with the Castellanos thing the other night, I agree, Mike, 100% with you. The bullpen's not that great. You're in a 2-run game. This guy has a chance to come back up in the next 2 innings. Why? And your offense, your replacements, who you're replacing with has no offense. Rojas couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. And all of a sudden, if that game's close, you're going to blow a game because you made that, it seemed like a bad baseball move at the time.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing that's bothering me about him is all these smoke screens. Like, just tell me Harper's out until after the All-Star break. The other night he said Stott had hyperextended his arm or whatever, and he wasn't going to play last night. But then he did play last night. And the one that perplexes me the most is because I had to listen to it all off-season was JT Realmuto would get load management and more rest, which would be great for JT. Mm-hmm. And it would also be great for Marchand to get more at-bats as a backup catcher. I just don't get it.
Yeah, why do I want more at-bats for Marchand?
Because, being a backup catcher and only batting once a week is tough. Maybe if you bat it, 2 games a week, it might improve.
Yeah, but you're reducing your team if you do that. Like, he is what he is. He's not going to help you that much. Like, it's not necessary for me to get him 2 games so he can help me marginally.
Well, my thing was they say Realmuto offensively struggled last year because he's just so worn out. Well, it looks like he's already worn out now.
Yeah, he's also getting a little older, but I don't know. What do you guys think? You give Marchand more at-bats so he can be more efficient? I don't know that the staff would.
I don't know that that's right now, yeah.
The problem is the staff loves pitching to JT.
Yeah, I get what you're saying because JT is getting older and, you're wondering, do you bring him back and whatever else the contract looks like after this, but I don't know that you sacrifice that for Marchand getting more at-bats right now. because of what you just said. The battery that JT creates is just too good. Personally.
I get you.
All right, Nikki, you get 2 questions here.
Awesome.
The Leo DiCaprio movie, which is, I'll give you Blood Diamond. Was Leo in that or not?
Yes, he is.
He was in that. That is correct. Audience has 3. Now, I got to give you a people with the B initials. Singer who married backup dancer Kevin Federline.
Britney Spears.
Correct. Oh, man.
Well done.
Look at you.
Does Ray get 2 questions?
Ray gets 1 because I forgot one to give the audience. Hold on a second. Let me put Nick on hold. Nick, nice job.
Well done.
Ray, we now start another category here. Back to general knowledge. All right, Ray. Let me see if I can get a good one for you here.
Uh-oh.
All right. Stalactites grow down from the top of a cave. What grows up from the floor of a cave?
Amy, what do you got for me?
Uh-oh, Amy, you going to save him?
Stalagmites.
Stalagmites is correct.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
Amy with a big hit. It's 4-3. She keeps you within striking distance, Ray.
I apologize to whoever supervised my Crystal Cave field trip back in the day.
Stalactites hold tight to the top.
I didn't pay enough attention.
She's smart. She'd be good in general knowledge. Maybe we want to stick with that category, general knowledge, Ray. You got how
I know a bunch of
you have 1 left? You have 1 lifeline left?
Yes.
That sounds right to me.
1 lifeline left. 610-632-0975. On the other side, I have gone down my list of Mount. I know people say Mount Rushmore is a cliche. You shouldn't be doing.
It's like it's just a top
that.
4.
Yeah, it's just a top 4. So I got my top 4 on every sport, and the key is we're going to come up with a top 4 for all sports in Philadelphia. That's going to be difficult.
1 from each?
1 from
Is that the 4 sports or?
I don't know.
I'm excited to find out.
I don't know. How would you?
I don't know.
All bets are off. It doesn't have to be from all
it could be
4
anything.
sports. It could be
Just
anything.
The top 4 athletes.
That is
period.
correct.
All right.
610-632-0975. Back after this.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
12:41, Mike Missanelli Show. Amy, that break, it's timed perfectly. By the time it takes you to walk down to get coffee and bring it back.
Yeah, because you have to walk all the way down.
You're on the air. That break.
Is there still coffee left?
How much is that break? What is that? Yeah, there is coffee left. Brand new pot with me.
Oh, fantastic.
How long is that break?
Well, including the advancer, about 4 minutes.
All right, so it takes exactly 4 minutes to go from point A to point B and back to point A for coffee.
If there were only some way to get coffee faster.
Yes, and we apparently we've gotten an offer. Right,
One
Ray?
we can't refuse.
Yes. Okay. Can you like briefly summarize what the offer is?
Yeah, I saw that I had a requested DM today, and I just assumed it was another one of the crypto scammers that keep trying to get me to invest in or click a link that's going to end up breaking my phone. But it was not. It was someone saying they want to build a water line for us so that you can get coffee and that your breaks won't be disrupted.
And they would do it for free, apparently, to build a water line here.
Free-ish.
Free-ish?
Well, free for costs in exchange.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
as an economics teacher once taught my parents, they haven't stopped telling me since, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Okay, I hear you. Now, have you forwarded this little offer?
I have sent this to my direct superior.
Your direct superior?
Correct.
But not the engineer superior?
No. I figured I report directly above, and then that gets forwarded that way.
Yeah. I think that maybe we got to go directly to the engineer guy.
Once we're done here on the show, then we'll take care of that.
All right. You can forward that to me, and then I'll forward it to him in case you don't want to get yourself in trouble with your superior.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. So, Amy, we were talking about this top four thing because I happened to read a story in New York. They're trying to come up with the top four Knicks. Mm-hmm. And up there, it's got to be Ewing, Bernard King, Willis Reed, Walt Frazier. There are three of them more old school. So this is why, like, you can go old school, you can go youngster. The Sixer one, to me, is the easiest.
Top four of Sixers
top
all time?
four. My top
start
four.
Writing these down once you give them out.
Wilt, Doc, AI, Barkley for Sixers. Right? Can there be anybody else? That's the top four Sixers.
I mean, the argument you would make is that Joel had an MVP,
Correct.
and Barkley only ever got out of the second round with Dr. J. Moses in his rookie year.
But Barkley is also one of the top 75 players in history. Embiid is not yet.
Well, when they roll out the top 100, I assume that Embiid will be a part of that.
Well, maybe. But for right now, I got Wilt, Doc, AI, Barkley. You would put Embiid and not Barkley.
I think there's an argument to be made, for sure.
Amy?
I would say that I would probably make that argument, though it's a tough one to make right now. But if you try to remove yourself from the recency of this, an MVP would kind of vault Joel on that list.
Okay.
But, I mean, I don't have any fault with Barkley being on that list at all.
Okay. So Barkley's the weak link?
Of those?
Of that
Yeah.
four? And he could be replaced by Embiid, is what you're saying?
Could be eventually, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm good with Barkley.
Let's go with the Eagles. This is hard.
This is hard.
I always try to put a quarterback on it, and I'm not so sure what quarterback I could put on it now. Could I put Jalen Hurts on it over McNabb right now?
Statistically, McNabb has more of the statistical lead, but Jalen Hurts has the one important thing that will always put him on a list.
He does. So I don't know where to go with that. I had Dawkins, Kelsey, McNabb, Shady.
Oh, no, Reggie.
Reggie.
Oh, no, hold on.
I was like, I started to write Reggie.
Reggie's my favorite player of all time.
I started to write Reggie.
How in the world could I forget? No, all right. So it's Reggie,
Yeah. Actually,
Kelsey,
funny, I'd already started to write it.
Dawkins, McNabb.
Yeah. I think if you're looking at the all-encompassing top four right now, today. Gosh, that is hard.
Nah, come on.
That sounds like a DNA thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Super Bowl MVP.
And he could have been the MVP the year before. He certainly outplayed Mahomes in 22.
You're going Jalen, right? You're putting Jalen in there?
I'm putting Jalen
But you
in.
were only 2 when McNabb played.
All right. He was the quarterback of my childhood. He's the first jersey I had.
She's right, but McNabb's the numbers are like way past Jalen right now.
Yeah, they are.
And
in a
even
lot
at that
of
point in his
categories.
career, yeah.
I look at one category and I like what I see.
That's true. Well, number of NFC Championship games. McNabb's got him there.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
All right.
How many NFC Championship games has Hurts lost?
I feel you. Listen, I'm good. I'm good with Hurts.
All
good
right,
with
so
either.
you would
we've
go.
got a little bit
you would go Reggie, Kelsey, Dawkins, Hurts.
That's really hard for me, but I guess I would. It's really hard for me. I have a harder time with this one than I do with replacing Embiid.
All right, who would be 5? You extended it to 5. Who would you go with?
I would probably put McNabb and Hurts on there then.
Number 5 will always
You would put
look.
Yeah, I
5
would
at
have-
5.
Yeah.
You would put then him and ahead of Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is, I feel horrible for that. But I already have an offensive lineman, so check.
Okay. All right. So Lane would be 6.
If I'm going to have 2 of one position, it would be a quarterback for me.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Let's go now to the Phillies.
Okay, Phillies on it.
Schmidt.
Yeah.
Carlton. Dick Allen. And Jimmy Rollins.
J-Roll.
Hall of Fame numbers, not in the Hall of Fame. It's disgraceful that he's not in the Hall of Fame. 2,400 hits.
I don't think he'll ever get in there, do you?
Best fielding percentage.
Oh, I mean,
better
his-
fielding percentage
yeah.
than Ozzie Smith.
His defensive war is out of control.
It is.
It's really good.
That's my 4. Now, a lot of people would not agree with Rollins on that 4. A lot of people would go Utley before Rollins.
Chase might have do you think Chase has a better chance of getting in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I would. Not in my book, but he probably does. Jimmy Rollins is really an underappreciated player in this town. So who would you go with? Schmidt, Carlton, Allen? Are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right. And who would be your
Those are all
4?
Hall of Fame.
If it wasn't Rollins, who would it be?
I'm just trying to. I mean, it's hard not to put Jimmy Rollins on there. His whole 2007 and just willing the team forward. You know, as Jimmy goes, the team goes.
You got to look at his numbers. A lot of people don't understand how good his numbers are.
They're good. They're good.
Who else would you put on there? Robin Roberts? Richie Ashburn?
Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Alexander.
Just wanted to say that name. I know
Chuck
it.
Klein? Would you go old school? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you go like way
for
old
me-
school with these guys.
For me, I'm going Schmidt, Carlton, Allen, Rollins. That's my 4.
I might put Chase on there, but I appreciate
Put
Jimmy.
Chase above Rollins. You would.
I would.
Interesting. And finally, the Flyers. Clark, Perrant, Lindros, and then who else?
Please say Leclerc for you.
I don't know. I got a 3-way tie.
Giroux?
Bill Barbara, Tim Kerr, John Leclerc.
I knew that Leclerc had to be on your list. So no one in the last 20 years for you.
No.
Not even the 2010 team
No,
that
I'm
got
not.
there.
I'm
to
not putting Giroux on that list. 610-632-0975. Anybody agree with all those? We're going to commingle it into a top 4 in a second. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Castellanos bench Tuesday night. I'm Ray Dunn. This Fanatic Sports Update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. We need a new water heater. Choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. After 236 consecutive starts, Nick Castellanos did not appear in the Phillies lineup on Tuesday night. Rob Thompson spoke to the media prior to the game, saying that Castellanos made an inappropriate comment following his removal from Monday's game, where Thompson lifted him for a defensive replacement.
One of the many things about Nick that I love is that he's very emotional. He loves to play, and he loves to play every inning of every game. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out, and so today he's not going to play.
We'll keep you updated if anything happens with that situation. The Phillies did proceed to lose the game last night, 8-3 to the Marlins. Jesus Luzardo allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings in his return to Miami. Each Phillies pitcher that appeared in the game allowed at least an earned run. Trey Turner did hit a home run for the second consecutive game in the loss. The Phillies and Marlins play again tonight at 6:40. Ranger Suarez and Adam Mazur matching up on the mound. Panthers won the Stanley Cup after a 5-1 win over the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6. That's 2 straight titles for the Panthers, beating the Oilers in the past 2 seasons. This update's brought to you by Allstate, some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Zone, your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Has ruled the day today on the text board, also on the calls. There are people that are worried that, in fact, I just got a call on my X line here. The bigger issue is this does not indicate the end or the beginning of the end, but perhaps the end of the beginning of Thompson's firing. He's alluding to the fact that this will portend poorly for Rob Thompson.
Really?
Can you read the end of the end of the end of the end again?
It's the beginning of the end.
He's trying to trick me up with words, but he's basically saying the beginning of Thompson's firing.
Ooh.
I don't think so.
Is it the beginning of the end for Castellanos in Philadelphia? 6-1-0.
Again, so we when we talk about this situation, he gets taken out of a game. I wouldn't like it either. when you take me out of a game as a hitter, as a key hitter in this lineup, and you're going to take me out for Rojas. I wouldn't like that. Now, maybe it was the fact that he got taken out for Rojas that triggered Castellanos.
And he's like, me?
Yeah, over this
you
guy.
You chose Tobias
this guy
over
can't,
me?
This guy can't even play. And you chose him over
Tobias Harris over me?
Yeah,
there it is.
There you go. You chose Tobias over me. And so maybe that's what triggered it. But he obviously said, yo, Topper, that's BS. Blah, blah, blah. That's what I think he did. I think he said, that's BS, and then he added an expletive and called Topper a name. Either an F name, a P name, an MF name.
Some kind of. I think there was some kind of disparaging comment made.
Exactly.
That would be my guess.
So, to get ahead of the story, now, you're going to discuss this with your PR people, right? After the game, it happens.
Yeah, you have to tell them.
After the game, you're processing it now. And you got two things to do. You can blow it off. You can just not hear it and just put him back in the lineup and not react to it at all. Whatever made him react to it is interesting because a lot of managers would have blown it off. Now, he's an older school guy, and I think the disrespect that was shown in front of his other players was what did it.
Agreed.
If it wasn't in front of other players, he might not have done it.
It was in the dugout. It happened in the dugout in front of people coming
Exactly.
off.
So, now, does the PR staff go in there, or does he go to the PR staff and said, listen, I am going to bench him tomorrow. How do you feel we should handle this?
Yeah, I don't know if it's even that involved. I think it's like, this is happening. Here's what I'm going to say. Are we all on the same page?
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a.
And they say, you're going to get asked about it.
You're going to get asked. And he's like, and I'm going to say.
Yeah, pregame, you're going to get asked about it.
Here's what I'm going to say. And they're going to be like, all right, you're the one that's saying it. That's what my guess.
Okay. Ray? How does this all transpire? Now, would there be a difference in your mind if he said it in the tunnel and nobody else heard it?
No.
No?
If you think it crossed the line, if you allow it to happen, it's going to happen again. If this is something they're legitimately going to continue to do, replace him defensively late in games, and this is the way he reacted to it, then...
you're talking about the replacement.
No. I mean, he reacted this way to you replacing him.
Yes.
If you allow him to say whatever he said, the next time you go to replace him, you're only inviting that to happen again. Because you've said that's an accepted behavior.
I would have done this. I actually, if it was just I heard it, I'm the manager, nobody else heard it, I would say, okay, we're going to have a meeting today after the game. Come in the office. Don't ever do it again. I just want to be on the same page. There's sometimes I'm going to replace you defensively. Don't ever react like that again. I'm going to let this one slide. Do not react that way again to me and show me disrespect like you showed me. I respect you. You got to show me the same respect back. And I wouldn't have benched him the next game.
How do we know that hadn't happened before?
Well, I don't know that. I'm just taking the current.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
The current situation. If I'm in a tunnel and he said that to me in a tunnel, nobody else heard it, I would say, okay, let's meet after the game.
That's your one-off.
And then I would explain it. Don't ever do it again. I heard it. I'm going to let this slide because I respect you as a player. I respect that you want to play all the time, but don't ever do it again because now I'm going to put my foot up your ass. Something like that. Maybe not that graphic.
Yeah, a little graphic for him. But
it'd be hard to admonish a guy for talking to you that way if you talk to them that way.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you literally just yelled at me.
You're the skipper. See, Charlie Manuel would do that.
Well, yeah.
I'll put my boot up your keister.
You sure would have. So I appreciate that about
it's 1 o'clock. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. You're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, let's go to the phones. We got Tom from Alabama checking in. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, Mike, I appreciate you taking the call, man. It means a lot to me to be able to talk to people back home.
Thank you, man. And thanks for calling. Thank you for keep listening down there in Alabama.
Hey, I'm going to do it. You know what's curious but I was thinking about how many times he hasn't done that, really replaced him defensively in the last couple of years or this year, has he?
No, he hasn't done it. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's kind of curious, man. I don't know, maybe I find it hard to believe Thompson would do something like that to light a fire, man, because, it's kind of a distraction. I mean, whatever he said, I don't care who the coach is and I don't care who the player is. I'm always going to side on the side of the coach because that's the way it is. He has final say, and I've criticized Thompson a lot since he's taken over, but not here, man. I have to say I have to respect his authority. So whatever he said, it must have been, backhanded.
Yeah, and again, to me, that makes a difference if it's in front of people or not in front of people. Like you can't embarrass the skipper in front of the team. That comes off poorly to a lot of people, but it shows total disrespect.
Media might have heard him too, or personnel, So,
no media heard him. No, this was self-reported. Right? No media weasel heard this.
Because then I think we would know what he was saying.
Yeah, like when could this have happened? The camera's on him all the time down there. Like when could this have happened?
Maybe when he's like walking by him down in the dugout. You know what I mean? Drops it really.
Breath.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people that are there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The way the way the team's built right now with the age and the players and everything, the existing contracts that are coming up. Do you think there might be a possibility instead of selling at the deadline because you could get a couple pieces for Schwarber, you could get a couple pieces for Realmuto and whomever? I mean, maybe it would be a better thing to, try to rebuild here. I know they're not going to do that. They're probably going to go all in.
No, it would not be a better thing. Yeah, it's like you're 3/4 through a marathon and you got a chance to win it. You don't stop. You keep going.
Hey, I heard you mention that mutt Tim Kerr. Okay, he should be on any.
Oh, come on! What are you talking about?
It's so funny he says that.
What do you mean, mutt?
I didn't even write him down.
What are you talking about, mutt? What a goals he scored as a Flyer?
All the damn time.
What was your problem with Tim Kerr?
Well, let me tell you, we lost in 1987 because he didn't play in the finals because he's always hurt. And let me tell you what he did.
Oh, you can't help that. He played. He played in front of the net most of the time and took the heat.
So did Leclerc.
Oh, Leclerc was a winger. Hey, Kerr was mucking and grinding in front of the goal.
Let me tell you what he done. I'm 16 years old. I'm in a spectrum with my buddy. He's sitting on one side of the spectrum. I'm sitting on the other side. Prop scores on a penalty shot. Everybody's shacked up. And here comes Kerr with his suit on and two other guys with suits on. I said, hey, man, let me get what you present. He blows right by me. I said,
so you got a personal beef with the guy.
Well, hey, man, he dissed me in front of the whole section.
That's no reason to keep him off. Come on, Tom.
Yeah, but he was hurt all the time. What are you talking about?
He scored 370 goals. He had 674 points. Holds the Flyers' record for most power play goals and most goals in a single season.
Yeah, Giroux. I would put Giroux in front.
Giroux? Stop, Giroux.
170 pounds soaking wet.
Come on, Giroux.
He was never hurt, man.
All
right. Give you my top four. Okay?
All right, give you to your top four Flyers. Go ahead.
Clark, Perrant, Barber, Lindros.
Yeah, Barber probably should get it because he's in the Hall of Fame, right? All right, are you ready for your general knowledge question, brother?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go. What actress has adopted children from Cambodia, Ethiopia, and Vietnam?
Angelina Jolie.
That is
well done.
Correct, Tommy. Hold on a second. There you go, Angie. Angie Jolie. Ray? What Barry Manilow song was about a club that was the hottest spot north of Havana? The hottest spot north of Havana at the
Copacabana.
Yes!
Yay!
Ray!
Would you have gotten it if he didn't
a
sing?
Monster get for Ray.
I knew he wasn't going to get it with this thing. I would have had your back, though, buddy.
Thank you. By the way, real quick.
Now, breaking sports news from
news.
97.5 The Fanatic
Castellanos has been benched.
TheFanatic.com.
Don't say it.
World of football, not the world of baseball. Guy that a lot of people in this town wanted to be the corner opposite of Quinyon Mitchell will
Jair?
not be the cornerback opposite.
Where is he going?
Quinyon Mitchell. Jair Alexander is now a Raven.
That fits.
That does fit, doesn't it?
That does fit.
Yeah, the Ravens collect guys like that.
Yeah, that fits.
They want to play on that ferocious defense.
Yeah. That fits.
All right, no Jair Alexander.
That's okay.
He wants to
We're back
watch
to
him make
square.
Abel start in August.
Give me some text feedback here. I want to know if people like Castellanos or not.
We haven't gotten a ton of people weighing in whether
No?
or not they like
No?
Castellanos.
Okay.
There's a few people that came to his defense on defensively what they think of him. Other than that, we got someone that was confused as to how you could ever be bothered by Ranger Suarez.
Yeah, there's something about he's too cool for school for me. That's what bogs me about him. Too cool for school. Show me a little something. Yeah, then show me he's cool. I want to know there's another side there.
Texter here saying Cassie should learn to cry tears like Bohm does, then he'd always be in the lineup.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Cried the tears. Oh, what else?
Some more people chiming in on Casty defensively. He's your best right fielder besides Harper. Just because Kepler is good in left doesn't make him better in right. Proven last night when he got scared of the fence at the bank the other night as well.
Well, he lost the ball in the lights last night. Kepler. Well, that's a pro Casty one. So that's likable.
Does no one see the irony that Castellanos was removed Monday for defensive purposes, benched for mouthing off, only to have his replacement drop a ball on a line drive that basically landed in his hands? Another different text here.
What is that? Is that God seeing? God had Castellanos back there. He made Kepler miss the ball.
I think irony
way works.
I don't think that he's involved.
God sees.
I don't think he's involved in that.
Wayne used to say, God sees. 610-632-0975. That's how you climb into the show. Do you agree with the top four that we have picked for each sport? And we're zeroing in on our top four of all time, which I think is set in stone, by the way. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Our deal of the week. Get 2 Ocean City water park and adventure golf tickets for the price of 1. That's right. Beat the heat and splash into fun with thrilling slides, a lazy river, and an exciting mini golf course. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deal. So were you watching college baseball yesterday, Amy? I know you were.
I've been locked in College World Series.
College World Series. It was Louisville versus Oregon State yesterday. And of course, in Louisville, we have a special interest in because Ben Davis's son, Tag, is a big hitting first baseman as a freshman for Louisville. Louisville. He went out for 4 yesterday in the game. But what a thrilling game and a conclusion.
Great game.
Back and
They
forth.
owed him a walk-off.
Oregon State tied the game in the ninth inning, and Louisville comes back to win the game in the bottom of the inning. But did you see the kid who there was a strike that they didn't call, or a call, maybe it was a call of strike, but whatever it was, they cut to the Oregon State bench, and the kid yells out, "You bleeping suck, Blue!"
It's a little much.
A little
for
much.
A college kid.
What a punk! A kid, a bench rider is ripping the umpire. Now, how's the umpire? Like, he must not have heard that, right?
No, I would think the umpire would have turned around and been like, "Nah."
Well, he yelled and screamed it. "You bleeping suck, Blue!" And it got on camera. But so Louisville plays today.
They play at 2 o'clock.
You
yes.
say that better than maybe.
Louisville, yes. Louisville plays today at 2 o'clock. They have to beat Coastal Carolina twice, unfortunately. So the Coastals.
But you know what? I was looking at these poor pitchers, man. They are wrung out.
Yeah.
In this College World
Series. It's a lot. It's a gauntlet. Coastal's very good. Chanticleers, they are. They're the Chanticleers.
My sister's squad right there.
Your sister goes there?
Yeah.
Not bad. Coastal Carolina with a squad, man.
Yeah, they're very good.
So Louisville brings in a kid in a precarious spot yesterday.
Oh, he came in 2-0. It was 2-0 already.
Yeah,
When's the last time you saw someone come in the middle of an at-bat like that?
This kid throws 98.
He threw gas. He was absolute nails.
A freshman, boom, 98 right out
nails.
the chute.
He was nails. It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was great because the kid that had committed an error that allowed Oregon State to tie it up, he's the kid that plated the he's touched home for the winning run.
I got to say, I'm watching these kids with the metal bats. It is so much easier to hit with a metal bat than it is wood.
There's a reason they don't use it in the pros.
I'm amazed
People
at the
would be
kids who are college stars that adjust to that wooden bat. After you've had like a holiday hitting with that metal bat your whole career.
Yeah, I do think they tweak them a little bit so it's not as. But yeah, the true metal bats are just out of control.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, the pop you get off of that bat. You can turn around a fastball. It's got, at that level, those kids are throwing 95, 93.
These kids can throw.
Yeah,
There's a kid from the Arkansas kid obviously had the perfect game into a no-hitter. There's a kid for Tennessee that's very good he can throw upper 90s.
Yeah, it's amazing. A lot of those kids that you watch on TV are going to be in that draft, the Major League Baseball draft, and taken high, by the way. All right, now before we get back to our phones, to Amy, let's commingle the whole thing with this top 4. And you give me your top 4 of all time.
Of all time. So I wrote down your list, and I put my parentheses of where I had just only one kind of question. Maybe Embiid over Barkley, maybe Hurts over McNabb. I did have Chase over J-Roll, and I did include Giroux. But
all right,
Bill
so
Barber.
let's go over your 4 again. Your 4 basketball was Wilt, Doc, AI, and Embiid?
Yeah, I could kind of go either way on that one. I wasn't as secure in that one. And then I had everybody... the Eagles, though, I did have Hurts,
Hurts
instead of McNabb.
So you had Dawkins, Kelsey, Reggie, Hurts.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Flyers.
then Flyers, I had Clark, Perrant, Lindros, and Giroux. And then Schmidt, Carlton, Dickie Allen, and then I went with Chase.
You went Chase over Jimmy.
I did.
What's your rationale for that?
Well, you were talking about defensive war. Chase obviously was also a very good defensive player out there. That was a great 1-2 punch for them. Statistically, he is a better hitter, and he was more clutch, is my rationale for that.
Okay.
I'll go with that. But honestly, I had no beef with Bill Barber. I had no beef with J-Roll. I had no beef with Barkley. I had no beef with McNabb. So if I had stuck with that, I would have been fine, too.
All right. Now the top 4. to me, it's a
It's
no-brainer.
like literally the first people we mentioned. No, actually. Not.
All right, interesting. Who is your top 4?
Well, you mentioned Dawkins first, and I would put Reggie above him.
You're right. I that was a mistake on my
Okay, sorry. Well, then yes.
Yeah.
So then it is our top. It's Schmidt, Wilt, Reggie, Clark.
It's the quintessential 4.
I mean,
there's nobody that can argue against the quintessential 4.
I just don't know. I mean,
Wilt, Clark, Schmidt, Reggie.
These are some of the greatest players to ever play the sport.
You're absolutely right.
So that would be my
the best defensive end, the most dominant center ever.
Mm-hmm.
The
greatest
third baseman ever. Clark wasn't the greatest hockey player ever, but he was so huge here that he has to be in the top 4. Ray, are you agreeing with that one?
That 4 seems like a respectable group. I mean,
Will, Clark, Schmidt, Reggie.
It does, like, for my generation.
Give me your generation of. Let's go over your team breakdown. So your Sixers would be what?
It'd be Will.
Will?
Yeah.
Doc. AI.
Oh, the 4? Yeah.
The 4.
Doc,
You're 4.
I think you would have
Will,
him beat.
Joel, and AI.
Doc, Will, Joel, and AI. So both of you guys have Joel on there instead of Barkley.
Correct.
All right. Should we call Charles right now? Let's see how he feels about it. All right.
We love you, Charles.
Let him enjoy his time. He had a busy night last night. He said his season was over, and then he goes back and gets on TNT for the Stanley Cup
wait
final.
a minute, we saw him.
Yeah, he can't stay away. He really can't.
No.
I love that about him.
Weird that his last time on TNT is going to be a hockey broadcast.
I think it's a little fitting, don't you?
I guess.
Listen, the man can't go out.
Or do you think he's going to appear
I think he'll
again
pop up.
TNT
I think he'll
stuff
pop up.
for hockey
For
again?
hockey again.
What was your Eagle?
Dawkins, Kelsey, White, and Hurts.
Okay. And we'll get your Flyer and your Phillies on the other side. And you can climb into this as well on the text board at 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Castellanos bench Tuesday night. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. After 236 consecutive starts, Nick Castellanos did not appear in the Phillies lineup on Tuesday night. Rob Thompson spoke with media prior to the game, saying that Castellanos made inappropriate comment following his removal from Monday's game, where Thompson lifted him for a defensive replacement.
One of the many things about Nick that I love is that he's very emotional. He loves to play, and he loves to play every inning of every game. I just thought last night he made an inappropriate comment after he came out, and so today he's not going to play.
We'll update you if anything else happens with that situation. The Phillies did end up losing last night's game 8-3 to the Marlins. Jesus Luzardo allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings in his return to Miami. Each Phillies pitcher that appeared in the game allowed at least an earned run. Trey Turner did have a home run for the second consecutive game in the loss. The Phillies and Marlins play again tonight at 6:40 with Ranger Suarez on the mound against Adam Bazer for Miami. Panthers won the Stanley Cup last night after a 5-1 win over the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6. That's 2 straight titles for the Florida Panthers, beating the Oilers back-to-back seasons. This update's brought to you by Dairy Queen. Layer on the flavor with the DQ sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets, now available in Honey Barbecue or New Buffalo for a limited time. Happy tastes good only at participating Dairy Queen locations. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, $7 Wednesday. You want to climb into the show? 610-622-0975. The audience has a 1-point lead over Ray Dunn. If the audience continues that lead, they will get the General Knowledge Prize today. A pair of tickets and free parking for the Flyers draft party. I thought we'd get a lot of Flyer fans today vying for that. Is the draft party not exciting them? Is the draft not exciting them?
I think the draft's exciting. It's a 6 overall pick.
The NHL draft is exciting?
It's one of the. I think we talked about this. Maybe we talked about it off air. Like it's one of the weirder ones where like the guys are just like chilling.
Yeah.
Like watching.
Yeah.
It's like they come out from the stands.
It is.
Like just hey, you heard my name called. Great.
Do we actually have enough knowledge to make this a
I mean, I feel like there's a couple of guys every year, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know anybody this year. I haven't done. Well, that's not. I'm more locked in a couple days before.
It's still a good prize. You get free parking.
It's a great.
Yeah. And you get to hang out at the casino. All right, I got a tweet here. Mike, who's the captain on this squad? They're grown men. This can't happen. You don't sit him like a child. Ooh. So that's anti-Rob and pro-Casty. You don't sit him like a child.
Well, then don't act like a child.
Well, there you go. Players are allowed to act like children, though. Childs?
I know where you're going.
Players are allowed to act like children in this day and age. They do it all the time. They rule the roost.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either, but that happens to be the sign of the times, right, Ray? Players cut sway.
Well, until it crosses a line, which it appears
until you get MF'd.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that.
And that's why, I think like the benching is the only thing that gets through to you. Like, especially to Castellanos, they're taking something that he cares about.
In
clearly.
Miami.
In Miami's also.
You took him out in his hometown.
Broke a streak in Miami.
Did his mom tweet? His mom is a crazy tweeter, by the way.
Really?
Michelle Castellanos. You got to check her out, Ray. Michelle Castellanos. Sometimes she pops up on my feed. She's pro Nikki.
Well, yes, I would hope so.
Yeah. She's his mom's. I wonder if she said anything.
I have not.
She tweets a lot.
The last tweet I see from her is a Go Phils tweet.
Oh, okay. So she didn't tweet about this
Monday.
Particular situation.
Not that I see. No.
A lot of people think that's his wife. It's not. It's his mom. Looks like a young mom.
But we'll keep Michelle's Twitter in mind for anything that might.
Keep it in mind.
Okay.
If she tweets a lot. Okay. Ray brought this to my attention. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this, but to me, it's perfectly logical. Ray, the best golfer in the NHL apparently is Jake Elliott.
NFL.
What did I say?
I mean, you are Joe Hockey, but you said NHL.
Did I?
Yeah, draft is on.
Oh my God,
it is. You're so stoked.
What is going on? NFL.
This is incorrect.
Jake Elliott is the best golfer.
It is incorrect.
It's incorrect? You know who the best golfer is?
I know there's a couple of good golfers out there, and I don't think he is the best.
Really? Ray, what's this story say about Jake?
It says the good golf influencers are saying that Elliott might be the best one in the NFL.
Huh.
Now, I don't know who they've played with to confirm this, how they compare him to other guys.
You seem to be upset that a kicker could be the best golfer?
I'm not upset by it.
There's a couple kickers that are going to be good. But
of course they're going to be good. Why wouldn't they be good?
He's not a scratch golfer. Adam Thielen is basically a scratch golfer.
Is he really? Adam Thielen
He won a golf, I think he won his high school golf championship, like state
Well,
championship.
why else? What else does a kicker have to do but play golf? Their whole life is a lark. Well, of course they're going to be schlepping around on the golf course. What else do they do? They're going to hit the blocking sled? Of course not.
Well, I just didn't know how you would feel about a kicker getting credit for athletic ability.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, apparently he's a good athlete. I
think he's good at a couple of.
Yeah, but like those guys almost like practice their wedge shots in football practice. That's how much they don't have their nose at a grindstone. Every kicker should be a scratch golfer. They got that kind of time.
That's not the way I thought you were going to go with this, Mike.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought that you were going to say.
You think I was going to resent it?
Yeah, a little bit.
The football players are brawny. Brawny guys aren't good golfers.
And kickers
I
are
don't
not
know.
football players.
Because I think hockey players are very good golfers.
Hockey players are, but they're not as brawny as football
John
players.
LeClair's a pretty brawny guy. He's a great golfer.
Yeah, hockey players are normally good because of their forearms.
Right. Well, it's the general also swing playing
yes.
situation.
Football players are kind of too muscly to be a good guy.
We're just talking about linemen now.
Seth Joyner's not bad. I played with.
I played with Seth. He's a good golfer.
He's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
But he's rare.
Barkley's better.
You know who's good? Mike Quick's good.
Quick's very good.
Yeah. But Mike Quick's a flexible guy. Like, I'm talking football players. Do you think a lineman could be any good at golf?
I think they could be.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think they could be. Sure. Why not?
I speak more in conclusions.
Did you say? I'm sorry.
Kelsey.
Kelsey's new to golf, but he is getting better.
I got to be honest with you. Kelsey gets invited to too many celebrity golf things for his ability.
I think he'll be the first to tell you that, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think
he's
openly
in that
talked
Las
about.
Vegas thing.
Did you say the same thing to
that
Charles?
Lake Tahoe thing, that Lake Tahoe.
Oh, the American Century Championship?
Yeah, he's not good enough to play in that, is he?
I haven't seen him recently. Because the guys that put, Mahomes is like a 7. Like those guys are like single-digit handicaps.
Guys. The quarterbacks are good. Steph Curry's good. The smaller, flexible guys. By the way, speaking of Steph Curry, Shaq put out his all-time team. Did Shaq include Shaq on his all-time team? You're damn right.
I mean, come on. No one loves Shaq more than Shaq.
You're damn right he did. So he's got Steph, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan. Who else did he have? Oh, man, I lost it. Who am I forgetting? He's got Duncan and him on the front line with Michael Jordan as the 3, Steph, and one other guy. Kobe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Steph, Kobe, Michael, Tim Duncan, Shaq. Now, would you put Shaq over Kareem?
Gosh, it's such a different player. I mean, Shaq is so dominant for what he did. It's hard, but there is some obvious.
I couldn't put. Listen, I
don't think I could put him over Kareem.
No,
I don't. That would be hard for me. He couldn't shoot a free throw to save his life.
Exactly.
That's a real problem for me.
He never mentions that when he criticizes center.
He was a very dominant player. You did not go inside. He was going to dunk on you. That's yes, but there were some real deficiencies.
No center should be shooting 3. Yeah,
that is just I can't with that. It's 2025.
Well, Shaq, what about the free throw? No center should be shooting 3.
I appreciate Shaq and all he did, but let's just
wait.
Let's be honest.
This 5 didn't include LeBron.
Exactly. That's the first thing I was looking.
No,
Mike went over it again. I'm like,
did not include.
I mean,
LeBron.
that's just haterade, right?
Well, who would you put LeBron over?
Give me his list again. It's himself.
Steph.
Okay, Steph's
Kobe as your guards.
Okay.
Michael's your 3. Tim Duncan's your 4.
I would have LeBron over the big.
You would
five.
have LeBron at the 4.
I'd put LeBron somewhere on the court. He can play 1 through 5. Go for it.
Okay.
Give me. Yeah.
All right.
I would have LeBron.
See,
on
LeBron's kind of like a 3, 4.
He is.
You know.
He is.
Well, the quintessential 4 is probably Tim Duncan.
Well, yes, he is. If you're just going with, and I think that's also what's wrong with some of these lists now is it's not positionless. I mean, that's a position very forward list.
Yeah.
Basketball is a little bit more positionless now.
You got Kobe and MJ on the same team?
Yes.
Yeah, take one of them off that team for me.
You can't take either one of them off.
You can take Kobe off
the
team.
You can't take Kobe off of that 5.
All right, if you want to leave Tim Duncan on the team, then someone else has to come off of it. Kobe has to come off of it.
No, because those guys are locked into that position.
Yeah,
like LeBron is a tween position.
Sure, so put him at the 4. Keep him on the court.
Did
you consider Michael Jordan a small forward?
Yes.
A 3?
I would.
I consider him a 2.
I would.
He's a 2 to me.
I consider him a 2.
I consider him a 3. He's got that length.
He does.
6'6".
And defensively,
he's
he's
got
obviously
6'6" length.
Well, the 3.
Got 3 length.
3, like you nowadays, is more like a 6'8" guy.
It's hard
Your
for me
shooting
to
guards
take
are like
Tim
a
Duncan
6'5",
off
6'6".
this list.
It is.
And I'm a big LeBron fan, but he might get squeezed out because of the position specificity.
Yeah, if you're just really going with it, you have to be exactly those positions. But I think that any list that's a top 5 that doesn't include LeBron is a silly list.
I guess.
But I see it. If you're just going strictly on positions.
Yeah.
Strictly on.
This was a strictly on position.
Okay.
And he puts himself in there.
Of course he does.
Well, yeah, there was no.
You know what? Take Shaq off. Move Timmy to the 5. Put LeBron at the 4. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, if you want to
Don't
climb in, it's 610-632-0975. We're coming down the home stretch. We still have the result where the audience leads Ray, so we'd like to get a couple more general knowledge questions on the board today, or else I'm going to have to give Ray a chance to tie, and I don't want to do that. It's the Mike Missanelli Show continuing.
We want to hear from you, so text us at 6.
Hi, Mike Missanelli Show. Phillies back at it tonight, and boy, Rob Thompson could really do Sports Talk Radio a favor if he benches Nick Castellanos again tonight. But I'm not so sure that's going to happen. The Phillies tonight, Suarez versus Adam Mazur.
Mazer.
who, as far as I can read, has been called up from the minors.
He pitched in the majors for 4 games last year, but I don't know. He has for the Padres.
For the Padres, yes.
Correct.
It said his status is minors. He's wearing number 60.
Yeah, so it's his first start for the
First
Marlins.
start for the Marlins tonight against the Fighting Phils. He's 24 years old, right-hander. The Phillies are only minus 175 tonight, right?
He started 8 games for the Padres last year.
8 games
8
he started?
games. He did
for the
not do
Padres
well.
last year? No, he
Did not
he
do
only,
well.
He only pitched 33
His
innings.
ERA was
7.49.
7.49.
He got about 40 hits in 33 innings. Why are the Phillies only minus 175?
You got to imagine it's all the turbulence that's been caused
Yes.
by this benching.
Just the ripple effect.
An organization that looks like it's on the brink of utter disaster.
I just placed a sizable wager on the Fighting Phils tonight.
Oh, no.
I did.
You're 0 for 2 in this series, Mike.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you had a feeling on the Marlins Monday night. You had a feeling on the Phillies
I
last
didn't bet
night.
that game, though.
Okay, so you're 0 for 1.
I bet the Phillies last night.
I think we need a wait till the weekend on this one.
I don't know. I got it. This is too good of a price. It's almost fishy. This kid is wet behind the ears facing that big Philly lineup. Castellanos motivated to smash.
You're telling me a Marlins line's fishy?
That's
it's terrible.
This kid might not last 4 innings.
Oh, I would. Yeah, but the over/under is 4, 4.5. Give me the under.
I might bet the minus 1.5 in this game. Also,
brother.
Well, that's too easy. I got to hit it up, Ray. Sorry. Let's
All
go
right.
back to the text board. What do you got on the text board?
We had people chime in on how they feel about Castellanos. It was a very funny run of 3 texts in a row that we got. Castellanos is only popular when he's on a streak. Nick C is the man. I can't stand Castellanos.
Oh, wow, that's
Nick C's the man.
Nick is the
Nick
man.
C.
Oh, Nick C.
Nicky
Oh,
C.
Nick C is
Nicky
the
C.
man. Why is he the man?
God loves him.
He doesn't gravitate towards the bonding with Philly fans. He kind of is his own entity. You know, people say about I've never met anything like him. One Philly said that last year. I've never met anything like him. Like, what's that mean?
He's an odd guy.
He is. He's got like an oddity to him.
He does.
All right.
I'm curious though, like where I don't think it's like a fracture between the two of them, but it was interesting. The Athletic story about this from yesterday just mentioned at the end just some of the other problems that Castellanos has had with the way they've been managed over this time. This isn't the first time Castellanos and Thompson haven't seen eye to eye. Castellanos, according to team sources, has complained about disrespect whenever he's hitting lower in the lineup. That was something Castellanos voiced in spring training. He hit 7th on opening day, but about a week into the season, he reclaimed a middle-of-the-order spot. He's hit 4th or 5th in 61 of the team's games this season. Like, just the little nugget of like...
Yeah, he does not like... I mean, this is one of the reasons why Thompson, I think, has kept him in the lineup this whole time. Because he knows that he's a temperamental guy, and he'll take that as a slight.
Which at some point...
He should grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I hear you. Let's go to Dan in Westchester checking in. Dan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hello, thanks for taking my call.
What's up, Danny?
I'm enjoying the show. I wanted to, who could we have for a backup for that NBA all-time list from Shaq? I have a pair. I thought
You have a pair. Well, Kareem, first of all, right? Wouldn't he be a factor? And how about Olajuwon?
I was going to say Larry Bird and Magic.
Well, yeah, but they're not. We're talking about you said Shaq. You were talking about the center position.
Are you talking about the list in general?
Yeah, well, Larry Bird and Magic would definitely be on a 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would take Kobe off and put Magic on?
No, you would. Yeah, you're not replacing those guys, are you?
No, I'm just saying.
You're adding.
Oh.
Yeah, you're adding to the roster. Yeah, no question. Bird would be on that list. And, yeah, who else did you say?
Magic.
Yeah, Bird and Magic definitely be on the list. You could extend that to 10, and you can get, you got LeBron, you got Bird, you got Magic. Yeah, if you want to keep Shaq on it, you got Kareem.
Yeah.
And like who would be the backup 5? Would you put Will ahead of Kareem?
No.
See, it's tough. Will is larger in
different.
stature.
Yeah, it's such a.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. So you would have these guys coming off the bench, Dan? I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, it's just throwing it out there.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Now, you want a general knowledge question?
Yeah, sure.
All right, people with this is people with B initials. So you have to have your first or last name has to have a B in it. All right, let's go. Let's go with this one here. Jennifer Aniston's ex.
Oh, come
on. There's been a lot of exes.
Really?
For Jennifer Aniston, there's been a lot of exes.
Not really.
Yes, there have.
Not like, no.
She's been through the mill.
No. There's one that's exceptionally well known.
Well, yeah, there's one that's
with a B.
Apparently, Dan's not going to get it.
Nah.
Oh, you're out. Oh, he's out. Okay, Ray, you got that one?
All right, Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on, people.
All right, but Ray,
he was on Friends.
You're not getting that one. That's right. Ray was a Friends guy.
Yes, because that's where you know Brad Pitt
Were
from.
you a Friends person?
I like Friends okay, yeah.
I hate it.
Oh, you hate it?
Oh, I hated it. I hated it with a passion. Really. There's some sitcoms that I just loathe. That's one of them.
That is one of them, okay.
That chumminess, that 30-something chumminess where all they hang together and everyone's trying to make out with the other one.
Young people having fun. Mike Missanelli, anti.
No, it's not that. It's so cliche-ish.
It's a sitcom.
Yeah.
It's a situational comedy.
Yeah, I'm not a sitcom guy.
All right. That's fair then.
Seinfeld is the extent of my sitcom knowledge. All right, Jennifer Aniston.
That's the bar is very high for that then.
Boyfriends.
Justin Theroux, they were married.
Yeah, Justin Theroux. Oh, here it is. Dating history.
Vince Vaughn.
Boyfriend history. Adam Duritz.
That was that's a Counting Crows guy.
Yeah, the Counting Crows guy.
I mean, wait, what kind of what kind of website are we looking at?
Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Paul Rudd.
She should have stayed with Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's amazing.
Daniel McDonald, the actor.
Don't know him.
You know him.
If I looked at him?
Yeah, here you go. Oh, yeah. Okay. You know him?
He's like a character actor.
Yeah. Right.
They probably were
character actor. Duritz, it's short-lived, but Duritz.
Very short. That was like
Tate Donovan, the actor.
They were together, I think, for a while.
Okay, there you go. Tate Donovan. Brad Pitt.
Yes.
She runs through them.
That's not that
What's
many.
That say
She's
about
like
her?
50-something.
Vince Vaughn.
Great. They made a great movie. Breakup.
All right, well, there you go. Vince Vaughn. John Mayer. Come on.
I mean, everybody dated John Mayer.
Well,
John Mayer ran through a lot of ladies.
Well, somebody who dates that many men, what's the story?
Not really.
What is her story?
That's like 25 years of dating.
Justin Theroux.
They were married. When is the first relationship on there, timeline-wise? Tate Donovan?
1980. No, it goes way back.
I mean, good Lord. She's in her 50s.
But she apparently can't settle down with one. What does that say?
She did.
Charlie Schlatter.
One cheated on her with Angelina.
Well,
that's not, I mean, she tried to settle down.
That's
and
not really
that guy became a loser.
She apparently wasn't delivering.
That's not.
I don't know
that's not it at all.
In whatever form.
No, I think that it was.
You are very pro Jennifer.
I am pro. Apparently, I am pro. I never thought that was my take, but it is. I think like 20 people in a 30-year.
That's a great picture of her and Brad.
See, she was very happy, and he was like, nope. He was lured away.
He was lured away by Angelina.
Yes, she lures a lot of people away. I bet.
Let me ask you, Ray. Let me ask Ray. Ray Dunn is right there. Jennifer Aniston. Angelina Jolie, where are you going? Which hallway are you going down?
I mean, I really don't think there's a bad answer here.
Well, there
is an answer, though.
But there is an answer. Is right.
Yeah, I've been pro Jennifer Aniston since I started watching Friends.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Now there's Angelina Jolie all of a sudden appears in the living room.
What did I start doing in life that this worked out for me this way?
I'm just asking. Is this personal
I was
preference?
Alan Jolie after the whole shared vials of blood with Billy Bob Thornton. That thing freaked me out.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
I was still going to go Jennifer Aniston.
That's a weird vibe.
That vial of blood.
That was a weird. Remember that?
The turn on.
was a weird. What's happening right now?
Remember when he said he was weird a few hours ago? It turns out it goes a lot further.
Vampirism is absolutely his thing.
That crosses the line.
It was weird.
I was just being facetious there.
Yeah, I think the 20 exes in a 30-year dating history is not that big of a deal.
Listen, she's a very delightful, beautiful woman.
She's delightful.
I don't know how many guys, if you took 20 guys, whether she would come out on top on the choice with Angelina Jolie. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you count me as one of them.
So you're going Jennifer. You finally come to a conclusion?
Jennifer was the conclusion the entire time. But why don't I give you the satisfaction of getting the answer right away?
That's right. Had made his way.
All right, we got one more call we can squeeze in. Mike in Newtown Square. Mike, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Good. Real quick, Mike, since you're a big Heat fan, there's a second book about Christopher after the end of Heat.
Is it really?
Yeah, it talks about what
really?
What he did after. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I thought you were saying I was a fan of the Miami
No,
Heat.
I knew that. There's a book. Yeah, what happens to Val Kilmer's character?
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's really cool.
All right.
Long-time listener, by the way, and Amy, you're doing a great job. You too, right?
Thanks, Mike.
So quick, Sixers. If they're not going to trade George, which they should, if they could, but I think taking Bally, haven't we seen this before? Guy can't bad shot selection, dumb player.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't think.
supposed to be
I
one of the
actually
best
think the
players
more I
and-
think about this, the more I think they're off Ace Bailey.
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't. Apparently, his workouts or his demeanor didn't satisfy a lot of teams.
Well, he's refused to work out for a lot of teams.
I think he popped down a little bit. I think the Sixers are going to take, believe it or not, I think they're taking VJ Edgecombe.
I would like to see him trade down and get rid of one of those contracts if they can, but I don't know if that's even remotely possible since Morey seems to be steadfast.
Yeah, well, I
And then
saw a couple mock drafts that said they're going to trade twice down, and they're going to take the kid. I don't know why there's such love for this kid, Knipple. I don't get the love for him.
Shoots the three.
I know he does.
That's how the NBA is.
He shoots the three in a college level.
I think he'll shoot the three okay.
Okay, all right.
I don't know that I would trade all my assets for him or anything
Yeah.
crazy, but I can see the draw.
All right. What else you got, Mike?
Well, last thing was with Castellanos, all the people that are saying that he shouldn't have benched him. You got to bench him.
You got to make a statement.
You gotta
Some
send them
kind of-
that-
if it's in front of the team and that happened, you got to do something. Let me give you a quick general knowledge question before we get out of here. What is the term for a person who eats no meat except for seafood?
Damn. A pescatarian?
That's correct. A pescatarian is correct.
Right.
Oh, my God. Oh, Ray, you lost. You lost today, buddy.
Pescatorian, Buzz Aldridge. Yeah, whatever, man.
Ray,
Get 'em next
here
week.
you go. Here's your question. What are the first 5 words of a Hail Mary prayer?
Hail Mary, full of grace.
There you got
There
it.
you go.
Consolation prize for Ray Bob.
Yeah, hopefully my grandmother was listening. She'll be happy with that.
There you go. Ray, we found out about Ray. He was a staunch churchgoer with the family.
Yes.
And he would dress up.
As one should.
Appropriate.
Oh yeah, as a child, as like a kid, yeah. Went to
All
church a ton.
right.
Now when I go home,
Amy, you like the Phillies tonight?
I do like the Phillies tonight.
All right, so my bet was good. My
I
bet
think
was
it's a
solid.
great bet.
At minus
Very solid.
175.
Yep, I love
Would you
it.
go minus 1.5 runs?
I sure. Oh. No.
You wouldn't go with the minus 1.5 runs.
That's a little much. No.
That's a little much.
I feel like that's maybe a bridge too far.
So you don't see like a 5-2 game tonight? 5-3 even?
Okay. You talked me into it, Mike. Now I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I do see a 5-2 game.
Amy, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming.
Thanks
in.
for having me.
everybody for listening to the show. Stay tuned for Unfiltered. This is Mike Missanelli Show. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.